Rivalry that dates back 75 years and has lost none of its passion. Played in front of capacity crowds. Teams led by legendary coaches and magnificent players. And stunning upsets. It's Toledo versus Bowling Green one more time tonight. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first televised coverage of the I-75 showdown between the University of Toledo Rockets and the Bowling Green State University Falcons. Tonight, sidetrack on a MAC championship and a trip to the Vegas Bowl. Stay with us. Kickoff is just a few minutes away. This telecast is brought to you by Mid-Am, your local bank serving both Toledo and Bowling Green. If we were you, we'd bank with us. And by Jeep Eagle. Test drive Eagle Vision at your local Jeep and Eagle dealer. Well, everybody seems to have an opinion on how this game will turn out. We got the thoughts from the two head coaches on the game, the rivalry itself. Gary Pinkel and Gary Blackney. We talked with them earlier this week.
A great rivalry. We have an awful lot of respect for Toledo. We've had an opportunity to be successful over the past couple of years, but they've been hard-fought games that can go either way. Both teams in the games right up to the final minutes, and it's just a matter of good fortune that we've been able to come out on top. I think this game is going to be as close and as hard-fought as any game we've played to date.
We're going in this game undefeated. You can just see in their eyes right after the game. I mean, it was now we're getting into Bowling Green, and it's a great rivalry. It's as big as it gets. It's, you know, I tell people that this rivalry here, this stadium Saturday night at 7 o'clock is going to be as loud and as intense as any stadium in the country, and it's a great thing to be a part of. Well, I think everyone wants to handle every game in a consistent manner so that you don't have highs and lows. I think that's why most coaches want to do it. But anytime you got a rival game, I don't care where you are in the country, there's special emphasis and there's certain things you do for that particular game that you don't normally do. So there's a lot of things we do different for this game than other games. We were obviously a lot healthier this particular game than we were a year ago. But, you know, we never said last year, you know, we had a chance to win the game at the end and we didn't do it, but we didn't talk around and give excuses that we didn't have this player or that player. This year we're healthier. You know, we're a different football team. Attitude-wise, everything, a lot different than we were a year ago. And Bowling Green's a different team, a very good football team. And so, you know, there's going to be two good teams going at it, and it'll be a war.
Well, the conference race is at stake, so that takes on added significance for this game. It's not just the great rivalry and the tradition of the game in itself, but the team that wins this game has an opportunity to stay alive, and yet the team that loses isn't out of the race because there's still a lot of football to be played. But it does have great implications, in my opinion, for the conference championship.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. You know, we've come up short 3 years in a row, and that's probably, I have more distaste and more frustration about that than anything I've been a part of, because my background, I usually have won big games, and so you know, this is big. It's real big, and I think it's respect, and I think it's pride, and I think it's more than a championship game. You know, the respect and pride factor is big, and you know, it's real important.
And there you have it. We have heard from both coaches. Coming up next, we'll set the stage for the kickoff. Stay with us. Led this team to a co-championship back in 1990. Nick, now the defensive coordinator with the first place Cleveland Browns in the AFC Central Division. Right now, we want to talk about the quarterbacks, and who better to talk about that than Kevin Mager. First of all, Ryan Huzak, Kevin, passing percentage-wise up there, not quite as high yardage-wise as Ryan Henry.
Yes, he's been very effective so far this year. As you can see by the statistics, he's 59%. 807 yards. His efficiency is 113. He's run the offense well so far up to date. Ryan Henry, on the other hand, has been a little bit better statistically. As you can see, they've thrown the ball comparably the same amount, but he's thrown for a few more yards, and I think he's second in the league in efficiency, 154.
All right, let's get Nick Saban in here and get his thoughts on this game prior to the kickoff. Nick, both defenses, well, quite a bit different. BGSU ranked number 1 in many defensive categories, while the Rockets are young and maturing at this point.
Right, Bowling Green is definitely a well-coached defensive team. They're very aggressive on defense. They've done a great job of getting turnovers and have a great turnover margin, which is a very significant statistic in terms of winning. They have an excellent nickel package. They're very well coached. They have a great player in Vince Calco as a leader at linebacker. Toledo, on the other hand, is younger and experienced, but very improving defensive team that has played more effectively in the last few games. I think it's going to be a key for them to stop the play-action pass of Bowling Green, as well as get some turnovers and control the field position in the game.
All right. BGSU has won the toss, but deferred. That means Toledo will get the football. And back at the 2-yard line, it is Market Matthews, and up the middle he comes, brought down at the 18-yard line, and number 24 for the Falcons makes the stop there. That's Tom Pate. And so Toledo will start out on offense from their own 19-yard line.
I think it's going to be critical for Toledo to be able to control the ball in this football game some and keep their defensive team off the field to some degree.
James Spriggs coming off the field, hobbling, and in obvious pain. So right off the bat, the Rockets have an injured player. Here we go on offense. To start it out, it's UT and BG here on TV 13. Of course, your quarterback is Ryan Huzak. Your fullback, Casey McBeth. And your tailback in the I formation is Washawn Tate. Tyrone Brown is split left. Tommy Boyd is split out to the right. We have a pitch to the left side. It's Washawn Tate. He fumbles the football. And UT recovers. Hopping on it, Johnny on the spot, Charlie Webb. And it turns out to be a significant gain on first down. The 7-yard pickup, that'll make it 2nd and 3.
Immediately, one of the things that Bowling Green is very effective at on defense, which is creating turnovers. They get the ball out and get it loose. Toledo very fortunate to get it back in this field position.
Wondering, too, the Toledo offense trying to use a little misdirection there, Coach, and come with a reverse there earlier, a fake reverse, trying to slow that pursuit down.
Brunswick is flanked to the right. Split out wide, it's Boyd. And they hand the ball out to Casey McBeth. Running the right side, not a whole lot of room there, no gain.
Casey McBeth, the ball carrier. Casey trying to find a hole on the outside. Bowling Green's running somewhat different defense from what I'm used to seeing. I'm not quite sure what they're in, but went for about a yard there. Casey's running hard.
Well, you see that the Bowling Green defense was overshifted against the slot formation there, and Toledo's offense ran right into the teeth of the defense.
3rd and 3, back to the I formation with 2 tight ends for the Rockets. Hujek under center, McBeth in motion, and they go wide with Washawn Tate. He cuts it back, trying to get to the sticks, and maybe a little bit short. So the Rockets elect to go with the running play there. They're bringing 2 tight ends, and it looks like they will be a bit short and have to kick it away.
Well, you know, controlling the third downs in any game is a very important down, the most important down in football from a defensive standpoint. It's a great way to get off the field. Also helps control field position when you do it the first rattle out of the box on defense.
So Gary Blackney's strategy pays off. They win the toss, kick the ball to UT. Defense comes to the 4, and now the Falcons will get the football. Ty Grude back to kick it away at his own 20. Ronnie Red back in formation, set to receive it at his own 33, and he calls for the fair catch. And that's where the Falcons will take over on offense. 12:39 to go in the first quarter. There is no score. Coming to you live tonight from the sold-out Glass Bowl Stadium. Lee Conklin along with Kevin Mager and Nick Saban. It's the Rockets and Bowling Green Falcons. And now the Falcons will be led out by their fine quarterback, Ryan Henry, the junior from Canton McKinley High School.
Well, Bowling Green has 2 outstanding wide receivers on offense, as well as a very fine quarterback in Henry. It'll be interesting to see how well Toledo's defense does here early in the game. I think it's important that they set the tempo of the game right off the bat.
And Courtney Davis is your lone back. Split out wide to the left is Ronnie Red. To the right, it's Ramir Martin. And Ryan Henry under center. Back to pass he goes. Quick pop to Ronnie Red. And he will be knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line by Jamal Belt and Ernie Baskin, but not before. It's a 9-yard pickup.
Bowling Green comes out early with a quick 3-step pass, timing route on the sideline. Good play to open the game with, and went for about almost 10 yards.
Toledo there on defense against 2 tights and 2 wides. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 1 back in the game. Set the coverage of the field. They threw the 3-step drop into the boundary, the soft part of the coverage.
Now we go to a little offset formation with 2 tight ends. Running formation here for the Falcons, and they go up the middle with Kalen Cates, and he's got the first down. Good surge right side of that offensive line for the BG Falcons. Nothing fancy there, just straight smash mouth football from Kalen Cates.
Well, it's going to be important, I think, for Toledo's defense in this game, as any defense. I mean, it's important that you stay ahead in the down, you stay ahead in the count. When it's 1st and 10, you have to make it 2nd or 7 and more. They're going to have a long night if they give up 8 yards on 1st down.
Falcons will go with twins to the left, Ramir Martin, Ronnie Red. Also in the backfield, tailback is Kalen Cates, and he gets the football. Up the right side, got a big hole, 50, 40, 35, finally brought down at the 30-yard line by Aristotle Wilson, but not before. It is a big gainer.
Bowling Green come with the counter there, pulled somebody inside, and made a nice trap block on the defensive end, and made a nice run.
It's a counter tray there where the backside guard and tackle both pull. The outside backer for Toledo's got to close and get that ball kicked out to the support. You cannot let the pullers up on the linebackers, as you're going to see. 65 here gets up on the inside, leads through the hole on the support man. It's a tough time for Toledo to stop that play.
Now Courtney Davis is your lone back. McElroy, the tight end, in motion. Play action from Ryan
pass.
Henry. Now rolling to his right. He's in trouble, and that pass is caught at the 5-yard line. Ramir Martin, the side judge, and the back judge ruled that a complete pass at the 5-yard line. He scooped it off the turf.
Bowling Green had a little breakdown in protection there. Ryan Henry showing his athletic ability, got outside, and made a pretty good throw there. Guy made a fine catch.
Nick, what do you think?
Toledo's playing man-to-man coverage here, and in the blitz, you don't contain the quarterback in your blitzing. You're really going to expose the secondary people in the back end. They can't cover that long.
Running formation for the Falcons. And we have a new quarterback in the ball game. It is indeed Mark Dunaway, who comes in running situations from time to time. The Falcons go left and don't find anything.
Good job by Toledo's defense there, containing the sweep. Had good pursuit to the football, good contain on the ball, good hitting at the point of attack.
Running formations down deep. Gary Blackney likes to come with Mark Dunaway at the quarterback slot. In the backfield now, it is Darius Card, your fullback. The tailback is Kalen Cates. Long count. Hand off to Cates. Off right tackle and barrels. Looks like into the end zone. We're going to wait here for just a second as they unfile, but good surge off the right side of that offensive line.
Yeah, it was. The tailback just followed the blocking up front and had a big surge by the offensive line. If he's not in, it's going to be very important for Toledo to at least try to hold Bowling Green to a field goal here.
If he didn't get in, I tell you, it'll be inches. Here's the replay. Everybody's trying to stack it up.
They did not give him the spot there, which is fortunate for Toledo, but that kind of surge out of the offensive line is going to make it a long night for the Rockets if they don't start winning on the line of scrimmage.
No score. 9:31 to go, but the Falcons have the football, and it is Kalen Cates diving over the top and into the end zone.
Same play again looked like, and they just had the big surge like Coach mentioned, and he dove over the top. There was really nobody there for Toledo to make a play.
Well, not a big challenge, really, for the Falcons on that drive. They took over at their own 33-yard line, and in no time, 2.5 minutes, marched it 60-70 yards for the score.
Well, it wasn't a very impressive series for Toledo defense. Obviously, I think Bowling Green's using some check with me's on the running game and also check with me's in the passing game against Toledo's 3-deep zone. like to see some adjustments there. Maybe play some 2 deep coverage so they don't get the easy throw in the flat.
Dunaway will put it down, and Brian Lieber will add the extra point as they come back up the field. The Falcons, after a very impressive drive, lead it 7-0, and we'll be back in just a minute. And as we come back, the Falcons score with 9:27 to go first quarter. Kalen Cates over the top, and he is in easily. Nick Saban, the defensive coordinator of the Browns. Put yourself in Tom Amstutz' position as the coordinator of the Rockets right now. Your team has just been driven on 67 yards in a short amount of time. What do you do to make an adjustment at this point?
Well, I think the most important thing of playing good defensive football is you have to win on the line of scrimmage. They have to be more physical on the line of scrimmage. They're getting beat at the point of attack. They can't allow the runners, the type of runners that Bowling Green has, to run north and south. They got to kick the ball out of the off-tackle hole. I think in their balanced formations, it'd be better off rolling up on the wideouts so they don't give them the easy throws.
Shore Eye's kick is taken by Wishon Tate at the goal line. Left side, got a seam. 25. Brought down to the 27-yard line by Charlie Williams, but a good return from Wishon Tate.
Big return there by Wishon. Had a nice blocking up front, and it could be very pivotal in this game and the kicking game. Toledo gets their defensive problem straightened out. The kicking game could be very big.
So Ryan Hujak leads his troops out once again. There's your scoring drive. Didn't take long. 3 minutes and 12 seconds. 8 plays. A mix of pass and run. And the Falcons lead this ball game 7-0. Lone setback for Ryan Hujak is Casey McBeth. Brunswick and Boyd split out to the right side. Little play action from Hujak. Now he rolls left. Attempted for Rossi, and the pass falls incomplete. A little bit overthrown to Steve Rossi at the 45.
Not sure Toledo had real good spacing there between the tight end and the flat man. It looked like that guy was almost able to cover both of them as Ryan's rolling out here. You can see that the first player there from Bowling Green, he had a chance to get back there when Ryan made the good read.
George Johnson on the coverage for the Falcons. Toughest throw, Kevin?
It is tough going to your left, but I know Coach Dunbar's worked with Ryan to turn him shoulders and make him square to the line of scrimmage.
Don't set back McBeth. Now he goes in motion. Long count from Ryan Hujak. Little pop pass over the middle. Got his tight end, Rossi. And Steve barrels over the 40 to the 41-yard line, and the Rockets pick up the first down.
It's very important for Toledo when we empty the backfield that we take what the defense gives us. And as Casey went in motion there, the tight end was uncovered. Bowling Green didn't cover him up. And right there, Ryan delivers him the ball, and there's nobody left with the free safety.
If you notice there, Bowling Green's defensive team, when Toledo's emptied the backfield with the backfield motion, checked to a blitz up front and threw the ball hot to the threw the ball hot to the tight end, which is good adjustment.
That was Rossi's 12th catch of the year. Brunswick and James Spriggs split out left, but we give the ball up the middle to McBeth, and he busts it. For a 12-yard pickup, quick hitter for Casey McBeth.
Excellent cut there, a jump cut by Casey, that's for sure.
Good blocking up front, too. I think it's important for Toledo's offense after Bowling Green has drove right down the field for us to establish a little momentum offensively on the line of scrimmage. See our Toledo's pushing the people, and the hole's there, and Casey's a good back. He finds the hole. Like seeing him break that arm tackle if he go a little harder.
George Johnson, Vinny Palco on the tackle for the Falcons, but not before it was a 12-yard pickup. First down for Toledo. They are into Falcon territory. High formation now. Deep handoff. Wishon Tate. And he runs into number 30, Mr. Butkus Award candidate, Vinny Palco.
Excellent stop by Palco, the linebacker, who's an outstanding player. Bowling Green is really a well-coached defensive team. They stay square. They run to the ball well. I think Toledo's idea of throwing some play-action passes and misdirection plays on them would help them.
Boyd will be flanked to the right here. Brunswick out to the left. And Tate and McBeth are your backs. Long count from Ryan Hujak. Back to throw he goes. Great drop back. And now under some pressure, and it looks like Ryan will be flushed out and run the football out of bounds.
I think Ryan got a little impatient there. He didn't quite stay in the pocket long enough for the play to develop. He tried to use his athletic ability to get outside, and he might have picked up a yard.
Well, maybe he picked up a page out of the Kevin Mager playbook, right, Coach? Somebody else in this booth would like to run the football, too.
Yeah, I always used to like it when he ran it when it worked, but when he didn't, I like to get his out there about on the 50-yard line coming off the field.
Chew him out a little bit?
Every now and then. Not the quarterback too bad, though.
Third down. 7 to go for the first. And Washawn Tate is the lone setback. 4 wideouts for the Rockets. And back to throw goes Hujak. Now he's under some pressure. Dump it off. Got his man, Tyrone Boyd, and he is inside the 35 and has another Rocket first down.
Good crossing route by Toledo. Tyrone was at the top of our screen and come down inside on a crossing route. And Bowling Green played man coverage there. You can see Ryan will step up in the pocket real nice here. A lot of room to run if he chose to do so, but Tyrone's coming across the middle, makes a nice catch. Good run after the play.
Well, there's some of that patience you were talking about, Kevin. Electing to throw it instead of run.
Yeah, he made good improvement there.
Toledo's playing man-free coverage with the rat in the hole. Number 4 there should have cut that crossing receiver, and they might have denied that first down, but it's a nice conversion for Toledo.
Play action for Tate. Now on the flat to Casey McBeth, made a heck of a catch, then dropped the football. A little bit behind him.
Threw the ball a little late, too, in the flat. You can't ever throw the ball late to the flat. Casey's looked like he had man coverage again, and just one of those plays that happen.
That brings up his second down. We are sold out tonight at the Glass Bowl. Beautiful sight. This renovated facility and a great setting for college football. Ryan Huzak under center now. He will send Tommy Boyd out to the left. Brunswick flank left side. And James Spriggs is split out wide right. McBeth the lone setback. Draw play to Casey. Hesitates. Picks up a first down, or at least gets close to one inside the 25. Before he's stopped by Palco and Charlie Williams.
I thought Casey delayed a little bit too much there. It looked like he waited long enough for the blocking to develop for him. Look, I thought he hesitated right here when I first saw it, but Casey knows what he's doing. He's running the football.
Yeah, that was a hesitation.
Yeah, it was.
No question about it.
It was an excellent run by Casey McBeth. He showed good power, good cutting ability there. Looks to me like Bowling Green's defense has a little bit more a bigger problem when they're spread out in the one-back offense than they do when Toledo's in the two-back set.
Now the Rockets go with 2 tights, and Brunswick in motion, right side. Back to throw, rolling right is Hujak. And he's got his man Brunswick. No, now they say he's out of bounds.
Just need to get him the ball there a little quicker, right, Kevin?
I think so. He broke off on the route, and the deep third man stayed deep on the corner route that Tommy Boyd run, and he could have just thrown a little bit sooner. I think he was wide open there. You can see no one was even close to him. He had to make a tough
another
catch.
Look at it. I tell you, he made the catch in bounds. He got that toe down, but
to throw that pass there on 3rd down, I think Gary Pinkel had made his mind up that he was going to go for it on 4th down regardless of the circumstances there, so he was taking a little bit of a shot, which at this point, right before you get into the red area, into the plus 20 area of the field, is an excellent coaching idea.
2 tight ends, Boyd flank to the right, McBeth and Tate, the dynamic duo in the backfield. They give it to Tate. He wants to bounce it outside, and he is hammered at the 25-yard line. Charlie Williams, George Johnson comes up to make the stop and deny Washawn Tate.
Well, Coach, I think Bowling Green wasn't going to wait on it and decided to bring the people from behind. I don't think he got it.
I don't think he made it either, but I think if he'd have kept the ball inside and kept his pads down, he might have had a better chance. I think that's a great I learned a lesson when I was a sophomore in high school, all right, about when you're in critical situations in a game, you don't think about plays, you think about players. And if I had Casey McBeth on my team, as strong a runner as he is, I think I'd hand him the ball in that situation, even if I had to put a bigger player in as a lead back in that circumstance. And this Tate is a fine runner, but that's not the time to jump outside.
And here's your measurement, and it's not close. So the Falcons come up defensively. When we come back in just a minute, they will have the football on their own 25 with 6:23 to go. It is the Falcons 7, the Rockets no score. We're back in just a minute.
They're in 3 deep in an 8-man front.
And back at Glass Bowl Stadium, the Falcons lead the Rockets 7-0, 6:23 to go, first quarter of play. UT had a drive going, but turned it over as Washawn Tate couldn't pick up the yard needed for the first down. So here come the Falcons. Ryan Henry back in the football game. And the Falcons go with trips. Long count from Ryan Henry now, and They give the football to Courtney Davis, who is now into the ball game. He is stopped at about the 28-yard line.
You know, this is an interesting concept that Bowling Green uses before each change of possession series. They huddle on the sidelines. They come out with no huddle. And in that circumstance there, they had 3 wide receivers and 2 backs in the backfield. And Toledo really didn't match up that personnel. They stayed in regular people, and against the running play, that wouldn't be a problem. But it could be if they tried to pass the ball in a substitute type of offensive personnel group.
It is 2nd down and 6 now. Ramir Martin is split to the right. Ronnie Red to the left. And back to throw goes Ryan Henry. Over the middle, got his man, Trevor Stover, 40. And here goes the big fella. Brought down at the 38-yard line of UT, but not before. It is a big gainer. And another Falcon first down.
Toledo is playing 5 under man, 2 deep zone. 5 under man, 2 deep safeties here. The linebacker gets picked off the guy or lost his coverage there. And when you play that coverage, the crossing routes really hurt you. You have to play everyone inside out. Your help is on top, inside out, and underneath.
That's a 33-yard pickup in the big fella, Trevor Stover, with his 13th reception of the year. He was a horse as the Rockets tried to bring him down. And now Stover will be set up right side. Darius Carr, the fullback. Courtney Davis, the tailback now, with Martin and Red split out. Handoff, Courtney Davis busted outside, got room. 25 inside to the 22-yard line.
Toledo right now is not playing really good team-together defense. 21, Wilson, the outside linebacker there, has backer support on that side. It's 3 deep zone. He's got to force this ball inside to his help. He doesn't do it. Now you only have the second support guy out there, the cornerback 13. That's not good fundamental defense.
Mark Heron left out there to fend for himself. Makes the tackle, but not before. It's another Falcon first down. Ryan Henry under center. Ramir Martin right. Martin now in motion. And play action. Back to throw goes Henry. Now he's under some duress. Over the middle he goes. Got his man Ramir Martin at the 10. That'll be another Falcon first down.
Well, Ryan Henry has good poise in the pocket. Didn't have his open receiver right away. Had a little bit of pressure. He rolled a little bit to the right. Stepped up and found the open man and made a nice play. But Toledo defensively, secondary people are making too many tackles. I realize this is a pass play, but even when Bowling Green's running the football, we've got too many secondary people making tackles.
And Aristotle Wilson and Johnson on the tackle there, but not before. It's the 12-yard pickup and another Falcon first down. Ramir Martin split out to the right now. I formation for the Falcons. Michael Parker is the tailback. Henry under center. Handoff to Michael Parker. Little scat back at the 5, and he will dance on into the end zone. Easy for the Falcons and Michael Parker on the 10-yard scamper.
Well, Toledo is definitely going to have to play better defense to stay in this football game. They just are not winning at the line of scrimmage, not getting off the blocks. As Kevin mentioned, there's too many tackles being made by the secondary people. Their front 7 people are going to have to win at the line of scrimmage, get off of people, get in front of the runners, and make some plays. And they're not playing good team defense.
Brian Lever on to try the extra point. The 5th touchdown of the year for Michael Parker. And Worcester will snap it. Places down, the kick is up, and the kick is perfect. So the Falcons have it their way. 14 zip, 4:18 to go in the first. We will be back in just a minute. And back at Glass Bowl Stadium, Lee Conklin along with Kevin Mager and Nick Saban. The Rockets find themselves deep in a hole early. 4:18 to go first quarter. Michael Parker takes it in from 9 yards out.
Bowling Green has certainly put 2 very impressive drives together. We've talked about the Toledo defense, but I don't think you can take any credit away from Bowling Green's offense because they have executed flawlessly in both drives. The quarterback has done a great job of stepping up in the pocket and finding the open man, and they've run the ball very effectively.
Every once in a while, they mix in a 33-yard pass to the big tight end, Trevor Stover. That was instrumental in that 5-play, 75-yard drive. Here comes Weshawn Tate, brought down to the 18-yard line.
Bowling Green has excellent special teams. In the few special teams plays we've seen so far in this game, they have done an outstanding job with their coverage teams. And they have an outstanding football team. That's obvious early in this game.
Now, Kevin, during the break, you talked about the offense coming back but not panicking right now. It's very important that they keep to their game plan.
Yeah, I think it's important that just right there you see the scoring drive, 5 plays, 65 yards, 2 minutes again. Defense isn't putting up a lot of opposement, but like Coach said, Bowling Green's offense is executing very well.
And here come the Rockets from their own 18. A back-to pass goes Ryan Huzak. Dump it out in the flat to Washawn Tate. He's got it. Now cuts it back inside. Broken tackle. 27-yard line and close to a Rocket first down. But he is hurt.
Good patience there, as you alluded to, Lee, about not using panicking here. I think we need to stick to our game plan. Screen pass is a nice, safe pass. Brian executed it well. We had good blocking. Unfortunately, Wasion is down.
Tate picked up the first down, or at least got close to that, so we'll get a measurement here. And while they tend to, Washawn Tate, we want to tell you that the score, Bowling Green State University 14, the Rockets no score. And it has been all BGSU early.
Go ahead. Toledo's offense has looked impressive in the last drive. It's the same as a turnover to get stopped on 4th down, so that was a significant play. But, you know, the biggest mismatch in this game so far is Bowling Green's offense against Toledo's defense. If that situation stays the same, it's going to be either a high-scoring game, but, I mean, if Toledo gets down much further, then even if they can match touchdowns, they'll never be able to win.
Good to see Washawn Tate walking off the field under his own power. And the Rockets will come back on first down. It was a pickup of 10. Macbeth now will slide back to the tailback slot. And here comes the option left. Huzak, tuck it back inside. And he got at least 4 yards before he was brought down on the play by the Falcons' number 44, Chris Burton, the inside linebacker.
Ryan's got good feet. He's a pretty good running quarterback. He runs the option real well. So you can see here he's down the line. I'd like to see him a little quicker up inside right there to avoid that tackler. But if you pick up 4 or 5 yards with the quarterback carrying the ball, we ought to be better off in our passing game because that's going to keep them linebackers slowed down.
Passing formation for the Rockets here on 2nd down and 6. Macbeth is the lone setback. And back to throw goes Ryan Huzak. Has a little bit of time now, is caved in at the 32-yard line. The pocket collapsed on him. And number 59 for the Falcons, Willie Gibson, went toe-to-toe and brought him down.
He really had Casey Macbeth open in the seam right there. Bowling Green didn't adjust to him coming out of the backfield from the near position. And he almost threw it to him right there and didn't. And then he took a sack.
I think he waited a little hair too long. He stayed on the tight end. Looked like we had a little choice route or option route inside. And I think he stayed on him a little too long in case he was open in the seam.
So it's a loss of 1. That'll bring up 3rd down and 7 now. And Huzak is back in the shotgun formation. Spriggs split out left. Brunswick, Boyd, right side. Back to throws. Huzak got his man. Then drop. That was his tight end,
Calvin Bransford.
And he just couldn't hold on to it, so now Ty Grood will be forced to kick it away.
Bowling Green playing a basic zone there on 3rd and 7, thinking Toledo can't get the ball up the field. And we had a good play called, and tight end ran a good route. He just didn't catch the football.
The thing that Bowling Green does on the 3rd down situations, though, is they match the receivers and put in a nickel or a dime defense in whatever Toledo does situationally with their personnel, which I think is important to winning on 3rd down. They've been successful so far.
Grood will kick it at about his 20-yard line, and Ronnie Red back to take that kick. And it's a line drive boot, returnable for Red at the 34. And brought down immediately. Good coverage on the play by Jamal Belt.
Didn't get a real high kick that time, but Jamal got down the field in a hurry, using his speed to make the tackle.
I think it's very important here in this football game that Toledo's defense has a good series. Now is the time to take a chance and try to make a negative play on an early down so that you get out and your defensive team gains some confidence in this football game.
And here come the offensive standouts once again for BG. They will try to do it again here. They've had no trouble in scoring on their first 2 drives. Ryan Henry under center. Darius Carger fullback. And Courtney Davis the tailback. He gets the football running wide, and he's got room again at the 40, 50, and out of bounds. Once again, Nick not the support outside?
Well, we had the support that time. The ball went underneath and around the defense that time. I think the forcing unit's got to make that play from inside out.
Good enough for a Bowling Green first down.
You can see right here, the support man sets the edge. He got kicked out and up the field, which he needs to close the running lane so the forcing unit can make the play from inside out.
And Heron in on the tackle for the Rockets. Pardon me, Todd Riddle, but once again, the secondary having to make all the plays. 1st and 10, Falcons into Rocket territory. Play action. Henry back to pass. Got Stover again at the 35, and he rumbles inside to the 30.
Well, I really like Bowling Green's play calling right now. They've been able to run the ball pretty effectively so far in the first quarter, and they come with a nice play action pass, and linebackers are sucked down inside, and there's no one there on the tight end, and Brian puts the ball right on the money, and their secondary people making plays.
Toledo's in a 2-deep coverage. Henry read it. The play pass tight end down the middle is the most difficult play to defend in the 2-deep coverage. It's good execution by Bowling Green.
Another first down for BG. Lone wide receiver is Ronnie Red, split out left side. Deep handoff to Courtney Cates. And he's inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Kalen Cates with about a 3-yard gain on the play.
Much better job by Toledo's defense that time. The outside linebacker closes the play. Knocks the blockers off, gets the ball kicked out of the off-tackle hole. The pursuit and support could make the play. Right there, you see the ball gets kicked out. The support man, a linebacker from inside out, and 4 other players there. It's good gang tackling and hustling by Toledo. That's how you have to defend the off-tackle play.
Flanked out to the right is Ronnie Red. I should say Ramir Martin is in the flanker spot. It's Ronnie Red split wide right. Carr the fullback, and Kalen Cates is the tailback. Rolling out right side, Ryan Henry, and doing a little bit behind Ramir Martin.
I'm not sure if Brian was trying to check off there. Toledo bluffed a blitz inside, and I think he checked to that play. It looked like a pretty good check off as he was open there in the flat. He just threw the ball a little bit behind him.
So for the first time in this quarter, the Falcons actually face a passing situation on 3rd down.
Well, Toledo rolled up in a 2-deep zone right there, and the reason the quarterback threw the ball behind him was the corner was in the flat, ready to trap the guy running the out route from the slot. Bowling Green staying in regular people here on 3rd down.
McElroy, Trevor Stover, the tight ends. Long count from Ryan Henry, and he fades straight back to throw. Now flushed out, got a man wide open. That's McElroy, the tight end, and he receives the ball at about the 21 and then goes out of bounds, and it is close to a Falcon first down.
This is at least the 3rd or 4th pass in this game where the quarterback has been able to step up in the pocket and throw the ball down the field. One of the most effective ways to start to defend the pass is to push the pocket in the middle so the quarterback cannot step up and attack the middle of the field with a throw.
I'm not sure if we had a breakdown there either, Coach, but they ran an in route on the top. I'm not sure if the linebacker got lost because he was wide open there on the sideline.
A little bit short of the first down, about 6 inches, and if you've had as much success offensively as the Falcons have had so far, there's no question what you do here.
Well, I think Gary Blackney's got a decision to make right here, but they've certainly run the ball very effectively so far in the game, so I know he's got an excellent field goal kicker.
I would think that the way Bowling Green has moved the ball so far that he would take the chance that he can get a yard.
I would think so, too. I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah, being the riverboat gambler that Nick Saban is. And indeed, the Falcons will come at him here on 4th down and inches.
Big 4th down play here for us defensively.
We go with 2 tight ends. Deep handoff to Kalen Cates, and he's got a first down over the right side. Craig Dews, Jamal Belt. Once again, the secondary in on the stop.
Bowling Green just playing smash mouth football there, just running right off tackle. And Toledo, I think, brought some linebackers that time, but there's Craig Dews playing free safety for us. He's making the play inside. And we need to be a little bit more aggressive defensively.
Another first down for BG. They send Martin out to the right, Ronnie Red to the left. Now Trevor Stover will set off right side in the tight end position. High formation. Hand off to Kalen Cates. Trying
Nice
to break it
job by
outside.
the outside linebacker there,
And he cut it back and made some positive yardage.
but only 2.
Well, they had him stuffed for what? 4 or 5 yard loss.
That's right.
Nick Saban, the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. It's a pleasure to have him here. And you got excited there, Nick, about the Rockets coming to the fore defensively.
All I know is when that young man has backer support out there, number 21 right there, Aristotle Wilson, if he makes that guy run inside, I see about 9 more blue guys in there. All right, and I see about 4 of them smacking the runner and throwing marbles at him. And that's the kind of defense I like to see. When he lets them bounce outside, there's only one guy out there, and that's that corner. And he's not a very big one to be tackling that guy in one-on-one in the open field. So I'd rather see it played that way.
All right, throwing marbles at him. There you have it from Nick Saban. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter of play. The Falcons driving once again. The score, 14-0. The second quarter of tonight's game is sponsored in part by Habitat Security, the official security company of the MAC. Get into the habit of feeling safe with Habitat. And by Sprint Cellular. Be there now with Sprint Cellular. And welcome back to UT BG Football on WTBG TV 13 in Toledo, Ohio. Lee Conklin along with former Rocket standout Kevin Mager, former Rocket head coach Nick Saban. Falcons on top, having it all their way, 14-0 at this point. And they're driving for more.
Well, they've certainly dominated the game, especially their offense so far. Toledo's defense is really going to have to step up. I mean, Bowling Green has almost 200 yards of total offense in one quarter, which is pretty amazing.
And right now, Gary Pinkel just trying to circle the wagon. Somebody's got to make a big play for that Rocket defense right now. Falcons have it, 2nd down and 8 on the Rocket 14. Amir Martin, Ronnie Red, the wide receivers out to the right side, and back to throw goes Ryan Henry. Got his man, Amir Martin, and he dives into the end zone. Another easy score. It's a 14-yard pickup. Touchdown pass from Ryan Henry to Amir Martin. That'll make it a quick 20-zip.
Bowling Green right now seems to be just having their way. Ryan rolls to the right there. He puts the ball right on the money. We're caught in man coverage and ran a nice route, and Craig Dews just couldn't quite catch up to him. And I think we brought some people and didn't get any pressure on the quarterback. And when I think you gamble like that, you've got to get pressure.
You play man-to-man coverage and you're playing inside out on the slot with no help and the quarterback sprints to him, it's very difficult to defend the out route.
Brian Lieber. Pardon me, Coach. Brian Lieber on to kick the extra point, and as they come back up the field, the Falcons have it all their way at the score of 21-0. And Nick, you talked about it right now. 189 yards first quarter alone for BG offensively. They pick up a quick 14 on that play. If you're Tom Anstutz, the defensive coordinator of UT, what do you do at this point?
Well, I don't know if it's a coaching decision right now. I mean, I think fundamentally that Toledo needs to play a little bit better. I think they just need to get into some base defense, play sound, solid football, and make Bowling Green go the hard way. They were in a blitz there. They gave up a big play, playing 5 under man earlier for 33 yards to the tight end, which led to a score. There's not really a lot of continuity in what they're doing right now. They just have to play better fundamentally and be sounder.
Now we have a look at the first quarter statistics, and as you might expect, all BG, 189 total yards in total offense in the first quarter. The Rockets with 72, but unable to convert any of that yardage into points.
Well, and I think the most significant thing about those statistics for Bowling Green is they're very balanced. They've been able to run the ball effectively and throw it effectively. And I think both of those things.
Here comes Tyrone Boyd, cuts it back, 38-yard line, and finally something positive for Rocket fans to cheer about.
Yeah, I know Tyrone Brown's got sprinter speed. He almost got to the outside. I don't think Bowling Green's got anybody with Tyrone's speed there. And he was about one step from breaking it. I think it's important now for Toledo to get some chemistry and continuity on offense. And we've moved the ball a little bit, but not enough to put points on the board. I think it's crucial on this drive that Toledo offensively at least puts points on the board.
I still think Toledo needs to maintain the balance balance. The point I was making there before Tyrone almost broke the kickoff was that Bowling Green has been able to do that effectively, and I think it's too early in the game for Toledo to abort their original game plan. I think if they can score a touchdown right here and get back to 21-7, maybe get the defensive team back in the game, they've still got a chance to stay in the football game. But this is critical that Toledo does something on offense, I think, right here.
Macbeth is stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and the Rockets will come up at 2nd and 10. 14:20 to go in the first half of play. It's Ben All Falcons, in case you're just joining us. 21-zip. Ryan Hujak under center. He sends out Tyrone Brown, left side, back to throw he goes. Got some time, and now he's going to take it up the middle and tripped up after about a 4-yard pickup.
See, the big difference in the game here now is Bowling Green stops Toledo on first down, makes it 2nd and 10. They put nickel defense in against 3 wide receivers. They have a nice little nickel package. It's not really pure zone. The quarterback has a little bit of trouble reading the coverage. Not really a great rush, but that was a coverage sack on the quarterback there because Bowling Green's able to go to their nickel to match up personnel because of the down and distance.
Brunswick is flanked to the left, split out wide left. It's Tommy Boyd, and to the right it's Spriggs. Back to pass goes Ryan Huzak, flushed out, a lot of pressure now, just dumps it, throws it out of bounds. Brunswick in the vicinity.
I think offensively, we talked earlier about when we did in our one-back offense, so we spread Bowling Green out. I don't think they're quite as solid. I know when we emptied the backfield that time, we could have had a little more time. On the screen here, you see Steve Rossi down the middle. Nobody around him. We just didn't get enough protection inside, and Ryan had to throw it away.
They're able to match up much, much better when they can go to their nickel package. But when they play regular, they're not in very good shape against the one-back offense.
Well, I think we need to get to it on the earlier downs, don't you think?
Exactly.
Ty Grude back to kick it away. Once again, for Toledo, he's been a busy man so far tonight. Ronnie Red set to receive that punt. And wobbling kick is taken by Red, and he will down it on one knee at the 24-yard line. And that's where the Falcons will get the football again. Yet to be stopped on the offensive side of the football. We're going to take a quick timeout. 13:18 to go. In the first half of play, it's been all BG so far, 21-0. And we'll be back in just a minute. And back at Glass Bowl Stadium, there's the score. It has been all BG. 13:18 to go in the first half. 21-0. And right now, Tom Amstutz trying to get his troops going. And here they go. Big challenge for the defensive crew right now as the Falcons come back offensively once again. 1st and 10 from their own 23. Courtney Davis will get the pitch. Takes it outside and cuts it back. What looked like may have gone for negative yardage. Courtney Davis tucked it back inside and picked up 4 yards.
I think that was a good run by Courtney Davis there. I mean, the play was fairly well defended by Toledo. They showed a cover 2 look that time. They confused the outside receiver in terms of the blocking. The safety came down and had an opportunity to make the play. I think Toledo needs to do a little bit more disguising in the secondary with their coverages.
2nd down and 6. Card and Courtney Davis in the backfield, and Ramir Martin will go in motion to the left side. And they give the ball back to, it's Galen Cates, and he is racked up, and that's the big play the Rockets have been waiting for. Baskin.
That's the kind of defense that I'd like to see Toledo continue to be able to play. Again, it was an off-tackle counter play. They closed it.
Seen on the first 2 plays so far, Toledo's had a little bit better leverage. Even on the first play, we had people outside to force it back inside where there's help. Made a good defensive play there again by keeping the ball inside.
And here comes a 3rd down situation for the Falcons. They have not seen too many of those. Ryan Henry under center, the tight end. Go in motion. Back to throw, play action for Ryan Henry. Dumps it off in the flat for McElroy. He's got it, then falls down after 34, and it looks like he might be an inch or 2 short of the first down.
That's exactly the same pattern that they ran the last time on 3rd down, and the outside linebacker is rolling underneath the wide receiver on the in route, and no one is taking the tight end coming across, which has got to be an error by the inside linebacker.
For the first time tonight, and this has got to be a big boon for the Rocket defense. They force the Falcons to kick it away.
I think what helped us there is we left them in 3rd and long, made them, we allowed them to dictate, or we dictated to them that they had to throw the ball that time to get the first down.
Andy Tracy will boot it from his own 23. It's a line drive kick. Tommy Boyd will let it bounce. It takes a Falcon bounce, then Boyd picks it up. Splits the defender, and up to the 47-yard line. Nice run back. Good decision by Tommy Boyd to pick up that ball.
Did a nice job of attacking the seam that he saw there. A lot of times you see in college football, a kid will pick the bounce up like that, and he'll hesitate and allow those 4 or 5 guys to cram him, and he just attacked the seam in between 2 players, got through it. I thought he had a chance to go.
We always tell our punt returners to play that ball for 1 hop. Tommy did an excellent job there, took it on the first hop, made a nice return.
But out left side, it is Boyd. Brunswick to the right. McBeth is your setback, and back to throw goes Ryan Hujak. Got his man on the outcut, Scotty Brunswick, and he goes out of bounds inside Falcon territory.
We've been talking about the personnel of Bowling Green, allowing them to dictate on Toledo's offense with their nickel package, and it's good to see us throw the ball, or at least gain positive yardage on first down here to where they can't dictate to us what they can and cannot do with their nickel package.
2nd and 5, and you have the defensive team off balance right now. They have to play regular down defense, 1st and 10.
The Rockets go with 2 wide outs. The flanker Brunswick, they hand the ball off to Casey McBeth. A little inside running between the tackles.
Bowling Green an 8-man front there, bump and run that time. Tough running against that defense. Bowling Green likes to jump into 46 defense every now and then, like Buddy Ryan. You really need a special package on offense to be able to execute against that defense.
What's happening with Buddy out there in Arizona? Coach, had a little trouble.
Doesn't have a quarterback right now. Playing pretty good defense, though.
Back here at the Glass Bowl, the Rockets trying to sustain this drive. 3rd down and 3. Big 3rd down here.
All right, Toledo's Bowling Green's got something going here. Man-to-man coverage. 2 is wide open.
Flushed out, got his man. That's Rossi, and he has a first down.
Scott Brunswick broke there. Coach mentioned he was wide open. Toledo's offensive line did a good job of picking up the blitz.
Bowling Green busted the coverage there on the blitz. The free safety was wandering around, didn't know who he had to cover for sure. Too bad our quarterback didn't see that one. That was a touchdown.
I think every quarterback coach gets a little nervous. They see them big boys coming. They know it's time for a home run, but you always know you're going to get hit probably.
McBeth will be the lone setback. Brunswick flanked to the left, and split out left side is Tommy Boyd.
Same
right
thing.
side it's Spriggs.
We got blitz coverage here.
Hujak wants the home run ball for Spriggs, and James can't catch up to it. It is out of bounds. Never really had a chance.
It was excellent coverage there that time by George Johnson. Interesting to see Bowling Green play some bump and run man-to-man. That's something we did when I was here at Toledo. It's something that you don't see a lot in college football. I think it's the most effective way to play the wide receivers in the game. It's very difficult to play off coverage. Here comes Bowling Green's nickel defense again.
And Ryan Hujak will see that, try to salve it. 2nd and 10 from the Falcon 42-yard line.
Also saw that time that looked like they jumped into that 46 defense and come out of it a little bit. They're trying to confuse Ryan Hujak there in the pocket.
McBeth in motion. And Hujak will run the quarterback draw. Got a lot of room. First down, Ryan Hujak at the 25. It's a 17-yard scamper.
Emptied the backfield that time and took all the people out of the inside. Bowling Green's trying to match up with our wide receivers and tailback emptying out of the backfield. And you can see there's nobody left in the middle. And that big number 76 leading the way there, and Ryan's just following through the hole for a nice gain.
Ryan Hujak coming into the game had 256 yards, and he was averaging nearly 5 yards a carry, so he likes to run the ball. There's those quick feet. Fumble on the exchange, or the snap, if you will, and the Rockets get it back, but it's a wasted play.
Well, those kind of plays hurt. I know that the quarterback on that specific play, I remember from playing here, that's our zone play outside, and the quarterback's really got to fight to get the tailback the ball, and sometimes you're getting a big hurry and not using your fundamentals and tucking the ball into your belly. It's a mistake by Ryan, but you've got to overcome those.
Casey will come out, and good to see Wasan Tate back into the football game. The Rockets go with trips to the left. Brunswick.
Bowling Green's blitzing again.
Back to throw. Hujak flushed out. Now he's got a little room on the right side. Breaks the tackle. Out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Well, he had 11 yards to get for the first down. Didn't quite pick up that, but picked up close to 9, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
Bowling Green, you can read the blitz when they're going to blitz each time by the position of the free safety. That time, Toledo didn't really pick up the blitz, but Kujak did a nice job of seeing the blitz and beating it. He's got nice movement skills for a quarterback.
Now the Rockets will go with 2 tight ends. Bransford and Rossi. With Beth and Tate. For setbacks. Pitch to Tate. Running wide, cut it back. 5.
Yeah, nice cut.
And touchdown. Nice run from Rashawn Tate.
Casey McBeth led the way there. He kicked the man out on the outside, and Wasion got the pitch and made a nice move and broke a couple tackles. Right there's Casey leading the way. Made a nice block. Wasion just made a good move there and stiffed arm to get in the end zone.
And if a team ever needed to score, needed a big play, it was the Rockets there. And right back into the football game. But they get another stop here. Things aren't looking so gloom and doom after all.
No, I think that was an excellent drive by Toledo. They mixed run and pass there very well. The quarterback draw out of empty was a very significant play and a great call by Gary Pinkel.
And Ryan Clare will come on to boot the extra point. And the Rockets get on the board with 8:30 to go in quarter number 2. Our score, BG 21, UT 7. We'll be back to kickoff in just a minute. Welcome back to Glass Bowl Stadium. It is sold out tonight to see the Rockets and Falcons do battle in the 75th meeting. 17-yard scamper from Rashawn Tate gets the Rockets on the board. They still trail, however, 21-7.
This is a very important series here for Toledo's defensive team. I think it's important that they get good field position on this kick and have good kick coverage. But we need to go 3 plays and out again on defense.
So the Rockets need a big play. Mark Spring will come on to kick it away. And back to take the kick is Ronnie Red. It's a deep kick, and he will return it 2 yards deep in the end zone. Up the middle he comes. Might have been a bad decision.
An excellent kickoff and good kick coverage. Anytime you get them inside the 20-yard line, it's excellent kickoff coverage.
It's disappointing in college football a lot of times. I know I saw it in some of the earlier games today. Kid catches the ball 1 or 2 yards deep, and he's not quite sure whether he wants to bring it out, and you end up in poor field position.
Let me say this, the old coach in Cleveland now, I raised the cash from the defensive players to get the kickoff team to run down there and get them inside the 20 now. I will say that on TV.
A little extra incentive for those troops.
And you'd be amazed for as much money as they make what they'll do for a $100 bill.
Here come the Falcons again. Charge your fullback. Long count from Ryan Henry. For the first time, they're backed up inside their own 20. They hand it off to Courtney Davis. Stopped for maybe a yard gain on the play.
Toledo's defense in the last 2 series has shown a little emotion in terms of just being physical and aggressive up front and winning on the line of scrimmage and making some good solid hits.
Matt Fernandez doing the job there from his tackle slot. Courtney Davis, the fullback, the tailback, pardon me. Darius Cards, the fullback. Amir Martin, Ronnie Redder, the wideouts. 2nd down and 9. Back to throw. On play action goes Ryan Henry. Got some time now, flushed out. Now being chased and dumps the ball off. And if the Saban thought it was intentional grounding.
I'm a defensive coach. I mean, Kevin Mager probably thought it was a nice play by the quarterback.
That was a nice play by Ryan. He had good pressure. That's quarterback's job. You got to take the risk sometimes, and he does a good job of just getting rid of the ball right there. And 40's there, Coach. I got to give it to him.
Well, he didn't get it called, so it worked.
You can get away with them. You got to take them.
There's that big play that you were talking about, Coach Saban, that the Rockets needed to come up with. They
got them in 3rd and long, too. That makes it a little bit better for our personnel for a change.
Toledo's in a nickel for the first time tonight against 3 wideouts and the tight end in the back.
And Ramir Martin in motion. Courtney Davis, the lone setback. And they fake the draw, and back to throw goes is Ryan Henry. He's flushed out now. Now rolling right. Now it looks like he will try to dump it off, and the fastball is incomplete.
Past the line of scrimmage there, I think, and he called
Yeah,
out
I
of
think he was
bounds
over the line of scrimmage.
By 3 or 4 yards.
Right. There's 3 flags down. Maybe there's one for each yard he went across the line of scrimmage. What do you think?
It's safe to say the officials didn't miss that one, and that's the big play, the big series the Rockets needed right there.
I think you're exactly right. I think they had a big play on second down to get him flushed out of the pocket on the incompletion. It gave him the opportunity to go to a nickel defense, which gave him a little look, different look. They played 5 under man coverage. They still need to press the pocket in the middle so the guy can't run around. The coverage is going to break down if the guy can step up in the middle and throw the ball to the middle of the field. You have to defend the middle of the field when you play pass defense. You have to defend the middle of the field in your rush lanes, and you have to defend the middle of the field from the top down and the back end.
Getting a little lesson in defense here tonight from Nick Saban.
I know I learned my lesson from him. He running me a quarterback. He always made sure I knew what they was doing on the other side. So.
Did you ever talk to the offensive side of the field, Nick, when you were here? Did you deal a lot with the offense necessarily or no?
Yeah, ask him.
Yeah, Coach is one of those perfectionists, and he wanted everything perfect, not only the defense.
Kick is away from Tracy, and it's a good one. Tommy Boyd will take it at his own 44. Wiggles through that seam, brought down by Darius Card. Not before it's about a 7-yard return. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Rockets will have the football inside BG territory. They trail still, 21-7.
See,
Here at Glass Bowl Stadium to see the Rockets and Falcons do battle. Falcons headed all their way early, 21-7, but Washawn Tate scored on a 17-yard run to make it 21-6. Claire came on to cook the extra point, and now the Rockets are back in business, have the football inside Falcon territory.
in good field position, an excellent opportunity to get back in the football game. Good play action pass, shoot it to him.
Ryan Huzak is being flushed out. Now he's got some room, and now he's going to tuck it in and run. 40. Inside the 30 to the 27-yard line, and both Kevin Mager and Nick Saban saw someone wide open down the field. But a great run nonetheless.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Lee, who does that remind you of, that quarterback right there?
If you would have put
who does that remind you
Mr.
of?
Mager out there, would look just like him.
Just like him. And there was also guys running open when he was doing that when we were here.
Brian does a good job of getting out of the pocket. We had a good play action fake. Offensively, it looks like we've changed our game plan a little bit. Went to a little play action and throwing on first down. Although we all saw Scotty Brunswick running wide open down the middle on the post, but Ryan got a good yardage on the run.
That was a 20-yard pickup for Ryan Huzak, and up the middle, Washawn Tate running well. And now the offensive line is starting to show a little mettle here.
Well, they dominate here because Bowling Green was in an 8-man front that time and man-to-man coverage again. I mean, I think that's going to eventually hurt them because I think eventually Toledo's offensive coaches are going to see that they're in an 8-man front and they're in one-on-one man-to-man coverage outside, and there's potential there for a big play. Even though they do an excellent job of blocking the 8-man front here, as you can see.
I think we've seen a big momentum swing here in the last two drives with Toledo going down and scoring and the defense holding. Be critical what we do with the ball on this drive.
Macbeth and Tate, play action for Ryan Huzak. Had Rossi for a minute. Now he's flushed out and almost picked off by George Johnson, but it falls incomplete.
Hope Toledo come back with the play action pass. I think we were a little late there to throw into the tight end because he got behind the linebacker right there in a hurry, and we had the tight end open down the seam, and we just waited a little too long.
As you can see there on your TV screen, it's the second or third time that Bowling Green has run a twist inside, and the second or third time they've gotten pressure out of it. The offensive linemen are not passing it off very well inside. Excellent way to rush the passer in the middle, though, is to run the twist.
Now here's your big third down. 3rd and 3, the Falcon 21.
All right, here's a 46 defense now for the first time tonight out of Bowling Green. There it comes
Back
the
to
blitz.
throw goes Ryan Huzak, going for the end zone. Got Spriggs and overthrows him. Boy had him.
That's right. Buddy Ryan would be happy now.
Toledo did a good job of picking up the blitz, although Ryan did have pressure on him. We had man-to-man coverage out here.
And just a case where Ryan Huzak had his man, but just overthrew him by about a foot or two.
Right there, Coach, I think the defensive...
field goal attempt.
Right there, Coach, I think the defensive coordinator's Parker a little bit when you start bringing people and see that ball go deep.
That's exactly right. I mean, but it was a good defensive adjustment momentum-wise for Bowling Green to bring the heat there.
38-yard field goal attempt from Ryan Clare is up, and it splits the upright. So Clare, coming back off an automobile accident last Friday, he missed the Ball State game. He comes in, kicks the extra point tonight on the touchdown and the point after, and then he kicks a 38-yard field goal. And as they come back up the field, the Rockets are right back in it. They still trail, but right back in it right now, 21-10.
It was an excellent drive by Toledo. I mean, even though they got good field position there, they put something together. They got some points on the board, so that keeps the momentum in their favor.
5:55 to go in the first half, and the defense, which has settled down now, salving some things of Bowling Green, but it all started back when the Falcons had field position inside their 20 for the first time.
Right, which I think is, critical. And I think if Bowling Green can mix their run and pass like they did early in the game, it's going to be very difficult for Toledo's defense to stop them on a consistent basis. But I think if they can play and keep them on a long field and keep them backed up and keep them a little bit conservative in what they're doing, they may have a better opportunity to create a third down and long situation, which is going to give them the best chance to get out of the game.
26-yard drive by the Rockets there, and it culminates in a 38-yard field goal from Ryan Clare. Mark Spring will kick it away. Ronnie Red back to take that kick. It's a high end-over-ender. And Red will take it at the 6. Got a little seam. Got a seam. 25, 30. Good tackle. Excellent tackle, because I tell you what, number 8, Romaine Davis, was about the only rocket between Ronnie Red and the goal line.
It was an excellent return by Bowling Green.
So with 5:50 to go, the Falcons lead it 21-10. There's your scoring drive. Ryan Clare kicks the 38-yard field goal. And here's that big defensive stand that the Rockets need to have once again. They've come to the 4 the last 2 times the Falcons have had the ball.
And again, Bowling Green huddles on the sideline, makes Toledo play one defense pretty much blind of what personnel people will be in the game.
Ryan Henry under center, deep hand back, or hand off to Courtney Davis.
Excellent defense.
Excellent defense. We see about 6-7 black shirts, or blue shirts, around the football.
Toledo is starting to look like a good defensive football team the last 2 or 3 series. You see they're getting the edge of the defense set. They're getting good pursuit from inside out. All right, they have a support man. They have a cutback man. All right, and you see the forcing unit getting to the ball. And I love it when they get a flat back and hat speed and you get about 6 of them there.
Then it's time to throw marbles. Right?
That's right.
5.5 to go, first half, and the Falcons come up 2nd and 10. Kalen Cates is the lone setback. Amir Martin to the left, Ronnie Red to the right, and back to throw goes Ryan Henry. Got some time, and he's got his tight end. It's McElroy. He's got it up close to a first down, but a little bit shy.
The tight end crossing pattern has been open for Bowling Green all night off of the little play fake. All right, Bowling Green's going to come in with some heavy people here.
BG had both tight ends on that play, Trevor Stover and Ryan McElroy. And the Rockets will try to counter a little bit. They bring out Aristotle Wilson, and they'll try to bunch things up in the middle. Big play here. 3rd down, a long one. Hand off to Kalen Cates. Got a first down, and he may go. I tell you what, Mark Heron made a touchdown-saving tackle at the 48-yard line after he busted it up and got the first down.
That's really what you want to happen in a short yardage situation, which Bowling Green got earlier, is you stuff the play and make the runner run sideways and then have an excellent opportunity to stop it, because you stop his north-south momentum. But he jump cut this, and the support man ducked inside, found the seam outside, and that's an excellent tackle in the open field.
After Mark Heron, there was no one there. The first down for BG from their own 48. Cates and Darius Card. Back to throw goes Ryan Henry. Got a lot of time, and over the middle, Trevor Stover. And he fumbled the football out of bounds, or they're going to call it incomplete. Boy, he got rattled. That was one big hit from Jamal Bell.
No, that's how you have to play defense. If you're going to play zone defense, you have to do a great job of breaking on the ball. Here you see a twist inside by Toledo's front. At least they do get a little push in the middle. If you're going to play zone pass defense, you have to break on the ball and play with excellent toughness, because you're not always going to defend every play. You have to defend some of the plays by knocking the ball off the skilled players and the receivers.
2nd and 10 now for the Falcons. 3:48 to go, first half of play. PG leads 21-7. Ronnie Red, Ramir Martin, split out to the left side, handoff to Kalen Cates inside the tackles. Got about 4.
I think with a play just like we saw in the last one, the first time Toledo's defense the tight end over the middle, although it was off a little different action, that might slow that tight end coming across there next time with a big hit like that. He might be thinking who's there in the flat on him. Hopefully that'll make a difference when it comes down to the next time Bowling Green wants to run that.
Big third down here. The Falcons into Rocket territory, facing a 3rd and 5.
All right, Toledo's in their nickel defense, but Bowling Green's in regular people.
Henry barks out the signal, straight drop back. Got a little time. There's the tight end, or the fullback. Darius Card, short of the first down.
See the change in what's happened so far in the early in the first quarter. Bowling Green's personnel was dictating what Toledo was doing, and here in the second quarter, it seems as though Toledo's defense has dictated somewhat what Bowling Green's doing offensively with their nickel package and with their regular people.
That's why first down is the most important down in football, offensively or defensively. You have to win that situation, because then the circumstances are in your favor to call the defense and put pressure on the offense, or vice versa if you win that down on the offensive field.
Tracy will come on to kick it away, aiming for the coffin corner. And it will hit at the 4 and take a BG bounce, actually a Rocket bounce, but easier for the Falcons to down at the 8-yard line.
Again, that's the 3rd series in a row now that Toledo's defense is held. They're playing better now, more consistently. I think they still need to get some of their coverage schemes squared away, because the tight end has been open all night going across the middle. When you people out there at home hear me talking about and mumbling to myself, I'm talking about what our players in Cleveland should do against some of these plays, because that's just what I'm used to seeing, and I apologize for that.
That's no problem, then. We appreciate you making it.
They don't always do it right either.
The Rockets get the ball not at the 8, but on the 10. 2:16 to go in the first half. We'll see if Mr. Tate can bounce it up the middle. Good hole up the middle. Good surge from that Rocket offensive line. Chad Dean and company opening up a nice hole.
Wasion Tate hit the hole real fast that time. Toledo just seems as though they've changed their scheme a little bit as far as running the football. Early we saw them try to get out wide, and that time for the last 2 drives we've seen that straight lead ISO up inside.
Chad Dean and Dan Wetzel doing a great job opening up that hole for Wasion Tate up the middle again. And he is close to a first down. But time of the essence right now. Minute and a half left in the first half of play. And there's going to be a timeout. Now they're going to stop the clock to move the change, because it is a first down.
Well, with the minute 35 left to go in the half here in the second quarter, I mean, with Toledo getting that first down with a little bit of field position, I would like to see them maybe go into their no-huddle 2-minute offense. Started off with a screen or a draw, try to get a little better field position. There's a screen.
There's your screen to Tate. Got a little seam, 25. And up to the 34-yard line. Good call, Coach.
Now it's time to go no-huddle, guys.
Toledo's got a little bit better field position. I think we're going to go for a timeout here. So we got a good opportunity to go with the 2-minute drill, like Coach said. I think that's Toledo's first time out. So we got 2 more remaining. We can get regrouped and set up the 2-minute offense to give us at least an opportunity to at least kick a field goal.
And while we have a timeout on the field, I want to take this timeout to announce the attendance here at Glasspool Stadium. It is a brand new, all-time UT attendance mark. 31,416 folks here at Glasspool Stadium, and beginning to see a good football game now.
Absolutely. I think this is a result of 2 very fine programs. Gary Blackney has done an outstanding job at Bowling Green of turning that program around. That's a fine institution. I think the University of Toledo is a very special place to me And after being here, I think there's a lot of great things here academically. This is a good football program and a good athletic program. Alboa has done a great job here. So this is a fine facility, and this is a good show. So I'm certainly enjoying it.
That's right. Stick around. Don't go anywhere, folks. 21-10. And this after BG went up 21-0. There's Ryan Hujak, your quarterback, 6'2" sophomore, who reminds a lot of folks of the guy to my right, Kevin Baker. And we'll see if he can engineer a last-minute drive here in the first half.
All right, that timeout gave Bowling Green a chance to get in their nickel defense.
Shotgun formation for Hujak. Has man Spriggs, and he dropped the football. Doing a little bit behind him.
Right there, looked as though Bowling Green has tried to double up on Tommy Boyd. He was the flex end up to the top of the screen, and we brought the crossing route underneath, and Bowling Green failed to pick him up. And Ryan probably wished he could have that throw back.
Doing a little bit behind him, and now with 1 minute, 11 seconds to go, it brings up 2nd and 10. And the Rockets will go with Brunswick. Tommy Boyd to the right, Spriggs to the left. Casey McBeth, the lone setback. Draw play to Casey. 35, 37-yard line. Another timeout on the field. Pardon me, just a quick stoppage of play. Now they'll reset. Hujak, shotgun on 3rd and 5. Took it over the middle. Now he's under duress and goes down at the 37-yard line. Now we've got a fumble on the play. Pardon me. Now they're just going to call it a sack. And Bowling Green will take a timeout here and get the football back.
They're first to the first half.
BG's first timeout. And now Gary Blackney and his offensive troops will try to get something going in the final seconds here.
4th and 4 for the Rockets.
First of all,
Toledo should get the ball back in very good field position with 40 seconds left. Bowling Green has 2 timeouts left, so they do have time. But with the kind of field position Toledo should get here, I don't think it's a problem at all. I think it was a good decision by Gary Pinkel to go 2 minutes there to try to get something going. He had an opportunity with a little better execution, to make a catch going across the middle, and there was plenty of running room there, which would have changed the field position, put them on the positive side of the 50, and they may have gotten some points out of it. They need to make those kinds of plays.
So Ty Grude will come on to kick it away.
The biggest thing you need to be concerned about right here is to make sure you protect the punter and get the punt off right here.
And we'll see if the Falcons do indeed come with that punt block. They're going to line up. Now it looks like they're going to have the return on here. They do have...
No, that's as many as the law allows.
10 up on the line of scrimmage. Ty Grude will kick it away at his own 25. Ronnie Red is back to receive that kick inside his 20. Snaps a good one. Here they come. Got it away in an excellent boot. High, spiral. Ronnie Red takes it at his own 15. Fair catch. And like you said, Nick, the Falcons pinned back, so not a bad play. Pinkel elects to go 2 minutes, and that'll pin the Falcons back deep in their own territory.
Good execution by Toledo special teams. That's a tough situation when you get a 10-man rush. They did a good job of getting the punt off, and it was an excellent punt. And now they have the ball in very good field position. With the lead here, 21-10, Bowling Green could very well just decide to sit on this ball right here and just run it out, because if they made an error here, it could lead to points for Toledo.
And it looks like the Falcons will just go ahead and sit on the ball and be very content to go into the locker room leading 21-10.
I think that's an excellent decision by Gary Blackney. No sense in taking a chance and letting the game get out of hand in the other direction at this point.
And they're going to let the clock wind down, perhaps get off one more kneel down, and then head on into the locker room.
I think a significant drive there by the Toledo offense. We started on the 10-yard line with about 2.5 minutes to go. It was very critical for us to at least gain field position, because if Bowling Green would go 3 and out there, and they would have the ball at midfield with a little over a minute to go, might have given Bowling Green an opportunity to kick the field goal. So it was a very crucial drive that Toledo put together to at least almost move it to midfield.
All right, so we're going to go to the locker room right now. The two teams will, and they're going to talk things over. So if you're Bowling Green, you're very happy about this. A Bowling Green fan, if you're the Rocket fans, you've got to be encouraged as well to bounce back after falling back 21-0. 21-10 is our halftime score. We'll be back with our halftime festivities. This halftime report is being brought to you by Lexus of Toledo, proud to sponsor Mid-American Conference Athletics. And by Marco's Pizza. Call for the taste that you love. Simply the best since 1978. And the UT marching band doing their thing here at halftime. Bowling Green up on the Rockets 21-10. If you've just joined us, the Falcons jumped out very quickly, 21-0, but the Rockets played much better in the second quarter. And now there indeed is a game of it as the wind blows into the booth here at Glass Bowl Stadium. Kevin Baker on my right, Nick Saban, Coach Saban on our left here, and we'll get the quick thoughts on that first half. Kevin?
Well, I think it was important after Bowling Green jumped out to such an early lead that we were allowed to step up defensively and make a few plays and get some chemistry and some continuity going offensively to put points on the board. But in the first quarter, it seemed that Bowling Green was just manhandling Toledo, and they executed very well.
Coach Saban, Rockets encouraged that they were able to come back.
Well, I think the momentum in this game has shifted a little bit from the beginning of the game to the way it ended at halftime. I think the key to this game right now is Toledo's defense. Bowling Green has a fine offensive team. They have a fine defensive team. But Toledo's offense has moved the ball well enough in the game to score enough points to win the game. I think the key in the game is going to be how well Toledo's defense can play against Bowling Green's offensive team. If they can continue to play as they did the last three series of the first half, I think we might have a football game.
Always hear the first 2 minutes of the second half are crucial. You agree with that, I would imagine.
Well, I think the way we come out of the second half and set the tempo in this game is going to be very, very important. In my business, it's always the last 2 minutes of the game that you worry the most about. But hopefully we can get it to make us all worry about that in this game one way or the other.
All right, we'll see how that pans out. 16 minutes and 11 seconds. But right now, we want to toss it back to Ray DeLucio in the studio. It was a big day in college football. And let's check in with Ray.
And welcome back to our halftime show. Once again, at the half, Bowling Green leading Toledo 21-10. Now, what would a great football rivalry be without a day of tailgating? Our Lynn Jolliker caught up with some of today's revelers as she has a story here.
Roll out the food, drink, and other fixings, and the old-time rivalry turns into a friendly one, for the most part.
Teaching us about to mount here, because BG's got all over the whole match.
And what would it be without some good old grub?
This is my special sauce here. This is Louisiana hot sauce. That's grandmother's. A little bit of chili sauce. That's great. Some barbecue sauce.
Tell me about the tailgating process. What all goes into it?
Well, this is an old world ritual. It goes back to the days of the Druids. Also the flag. The flag has got to be flying.
Even Mom and Dad can't pass up the pregame party.
Well, my son's the captain of the Toledo football team. We're out here to watch him beat BG's team. This is Uncle George, his Aunt Jenny, friend Monochrome, his mother over here making signs.
Some started early as 8 this morning, while others waited for the evening hoopla. But all say it made the day complete.
You just got to come out. It's such a big rivalry being so close to the BG and UT. And you come out because you have so many friends that go to BG and UT. And we just get out and have a good time and party.
Lynn Jolliker, 13 News.
Looks like a pretty darn good time. Welcome back to the show once again. It's Bowling Green at the halftime leading 21-10. Now let's go ahead and take a look back at the first half highlights. As expected, the Falcons coming out throwing early. Ryan Henry here rolling out. And he completes it here to Ramir Martin, who makes an outstanding catch down at the 5-yard line. Then it's Keelan Cates from a yard out for the first touchdown of the night. Cates taking the handoff and going up over top. Falcons ahead 7-zip. Falcons again this time. It's Henry to Ryan McElroy, the big, huge tight end. McElroy rumbles all the way down to the 38-yard line. Then it's Courtney Davis from 10 yards out. 14-0 Bowling Green. They would increase that lead to 21. Ryan Henry back to pass again. His other main man, he's got Ronnie Red, and he's got Ramir Martin there. Martin diving in for the touchdown. 21-0 Falcons. Toledo's offense struggling through the first half. Ryan Husak going long, but he winds up going out of bounds. But the man can run if he needs to. Takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line, and that would set this up. Rockets finally getting on the board with Sean Tate around the right side and get some good blocking for the touchdown. But at the half, once again, Bowling Green leading 21-10. And telling you about some other MAC scores today. The big one, Western Michigan loses to Ball State 16-13. Good news for both Toledo and Bowling Green in the MAC stand. In Central Michigan today, a winner over Akron 30-0. Elsewhere was Miami of Ohio over Ohio U 31-10. And last but not least, Youngstown State over Kent today 28-14. Well, Toledo and Bowling Green are getting ready for the second half right now. Let's take you back out to the Glass Bowl where Lee Conklin is standing by with a very special guest. Lee?
Now we just have to do something about maybe doing something on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's important too. But it is a beautiful night, and it's great to see this many people out here. We had a new record for the number of tickets sold for this game, and it's a great night. And the defense started turning around in the second quarter, and that was important too to help all the fans enjoy the second half.
And it should be a good one.
It will be a good one,
as you guaranteed when you came down here. So we're going to do something about that. Let's talk a little bit about other things other than academic or athletics around the university. I know construction is a big part of what's going on right now at UT.
Yeah, well, all the fans who come to the stadium can see in several different directions that we are erecting academic buildings that are very, very important for our academic programs. The new engineering complex across Douglas Boulevard is going to give us finally just a superb set of facilities for our engineering program. The new pharmacy, chemistry, life science building, which is a $33 million complex, will be going up this spring. We have a new residence hall called the International House that will add about 400 spaces for us, and that's very important because we have 70% of our entering freshmen come from outside this area now. So all that construction put together, we're somewhere on the order of $100 million right now.
Biggest challenges facing the University of Toledo, the institutions, for instance, in the Mid-American Conference with the cost of higher education going up, state funding going down, biggest challenges you're facing?
Well, I think, there are challenges, but there are also opportunities. I think it's not just UT. I think higher education is going through a very real sea change in terms of expectations for higher productivity. Looking at how we'll be able to maintain the quality with reduced resources. It will mean changing a lot of how we do things and really bringing to bear a lot of technology that we have not done in the past. It will also mean some new responsibilities on the students with expectations that they will have to take more responsibility for their education than they have in the past. So it will come from a variety of directions, but as I say, I think it's an opportunity for us to do things differently and do them within a context that we will help address society's needs for higher education, which is still extremely important.
And you talk about the cost of education rising. We're hearing about how much it might cost somebody to go to a four-year institution 15 years down the road, and we're hearing this $100,000 figure. But you say that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, very often it's the largest figure that's used, and very often it's the Harvard and Stanford picture, which is $100,000 right now, quite frankly. I think public higher education is still a bargain. It's still something, for example, in Ohio, as a state, we're probably a little higher than the national average, but when you think of the cost of education being somewhere on the order of $2,500 per academic year, and then you look at a Harvard as $27,000 per academic year, I think it's a good bargain, and it's still providing high-quality education to a lot of people who can't afford to go elsewhere, and a lot of people who can't afford to pay those kinds of prices. No question, the cost will go up, but I think it's going to go up much more slowly. Our increase this year was 5%. The national average was 6%, so we're getting our costs under control.
All right, little discipline there, and I'm seeing that you have the discipline too. The gun goes off, you don't even flinch.
No.
And that gun means we're ready for second half action. Dr. Horton, thanks very much, and best of luck with the University of Toledo this coming year. Congratulations on this all-time record.
Well, nice being here. We're very pleased to have Channel 13 televise this game.
All right, Dr. Frank Horton, the president of the University of Toledo. When we come back, Nick Saban, Kevin Mager, their thoughts on the second half of play. Lexus of Toledo, proud to sponsor Mid-American Conference Athletics. And by Marco's Pizza, call for the taste that you love. Simply the best since 1978. And welcome back to a sold-out Glass Bowl Stadium. Matter of fact, all-time record crowd tonight to see the Falcons and Rockets go at it. 31,416 people to watch the second half of play. There's the score. Falcons 21, Rockets 10. Halftime show is over now. Rockets had a chance to talk about things defensively. And Kevin Mager, as we get ready for the second half, do you see them maybe able to come to the fore once again? They have things going their way toward the latter portion of the second half.
Right there's the first half statistics with Bowling Green at pretty even on first downs, rushing yardage. UT's passing yardage has been a little bit different from what Bowling Green has. They've been outrushed and outgained for total offense of 60 or 70 yards. The critical statistic there is no turnovers by either side. They're both playing a pretty clean game.
Time of possession is pretty even right now. And Coach Nick Saban, defensively, what do the Rockets have to do? And I imagine they got things going in the second quarter, at least toward their goals to stop BG.
Well, I think one of the most significant stats there is the fact that Bowling Green had 189 yards in the first quarter. Now they only have 240. That means they only got 51 yards in the second quarter, which I think Toledo needs to continue that. I think turnovers are still going to be a critical factor in this game, though. Bowling Green's very good at getting them. They have a very good turnover margin, and Toledo is going to have to offset that.
Courtney Davis returns the kickoff from Mark Spring up over the 30-yard line to the 33. It was a high end over-ender. It came down to Courtney Davis. So the Falcons start out second half of play with relatively good field position.
It'd be important for Toledo's defense to set the tone in the second half of what they plan on doing with their strategy against Bowling Green's offense, and Bowling Green also is going to try to set the tone for their second half of what they want to do offensively.
Momentum was with the Rockets in that second quarter, but now the defense will have to come to the fore again. Brent Parkhill and company lining up. Ryan Henry under center for the BG Falcons. Courtney Davis now with the pitch. Right side, good defensive play.
Excellent defense by Toledo. Excellent. Good run support, good force position, good inside-out pursuit. That's the kind of defense I think Toledo played in the second quarter, need to continue to play. I agree with Kevin. I think this is very important for both teams to set the tone right here as to how the second half is going to go in this first series.
Jamie Johnson calls the defensive signals for the Rockets. Premier Martin, Ronnie Red, the wide receivers for BG. Ronnie Red coming into the ballgame with 23 touchdown receptions in his career. A BG record. He's just one away from breaking the all-time MAC record for touchdown receptions. Tight end is McElroy. Back to pass on play action goes Ryan Henry. Rushed and brought down to the 22-yard line.
There's that pressure up the middle that Coach was talking about earlier. Ryan didn't quite have the team the time to get the pass route established and get the ball away.
Exactly the same pass route that they've been running with the Y cross XN, and it was open again. But again, the best pass defense, and I've coached a secondary most of my life, is a good pass rush.
There it is. Big loss on the play of 12 yards. This brings up a 3rd and 22, and a great situation to be. If you're the Rocket defense right now, you can bring a lot of pressure right here. Bo Riker with that sack.
Toledo in their nickel defense.
Back to pass goes Henry.
Pass rush stun up front. Good
over the middle he goes, and nearly picked off Aristotle Wilson. Excellent play.
Bowling Green Green tried to split Toledo's too deep there, and Aristotle Wilson carried the guy down the middle and knocked the ball down on what we call middle read, which you try to split the two safeties on. That's a dead spot in the zone. It's a good break on the ball and a big play.
Perfect coverage from Wilson. Pass intended for Ramir Martin, and the Rockets, no doubt, will get good field position here.
And I think you can see Toledo's defensive team gaining confidence with each and every series.
Rockets line up 10 on the line of scrimmage, and now they drop a couple back. The punt is a low liner, returnable for Tommy Boyd. It takes a BG bounce, though. And the Falcons will down it at the 33-yard line.
That would have been a tough catch for Tommy Boyd. That was a low, short kick. Fortunately for Toledo, he didn't get a great row on it. But boy, you hate to see that ball hit on special teams. The punter for Bowling Green has not punted the ball very effectively into the wind tonight at all.
Well, the Rockets have a pretty good field position to start out on their first possession of the second half. McBeth and Washian Tate, your backs. Brunswick flank to the left, and out wide it's Tommy Boyd. First and 10 for Ryan Hujek, and up the middle he comes to McBeth. And Casey wiggles and worms his way up the middle of the offensive line and does well to get 5 yards on the play.
That was an excellent cut by Casey McBeth. He's playing fullback, which I think Toledo has two good running backs. So for them to play both these young men at the same time, excellent jump cut right there. We call that a jump cut by Casey. Not many backs can do that, especially one that has the power that Casey McBeth has.
They give Casey 6 yards on that play. Makes it 2nd and 4. And Washian Tate bouncing it back to the right side and still short of the first down. Pickup of only 2.
I think it's important right here for Toledo offensively to establish themselves along with Bowling Green's defense to determine who's going to make the stand and who's going to set the tone for the second half. On the first drive, Toledo's defense did, and now it's Toledo or Bowling Green's defense and Toledo's offense to determine what's going to happen here in the second half. We're about 3rd and 2.
It is a long 2.
Bowling Green's going to blitz.
And Hujek has some time and mix up on that pass route. Boyd cut it to the post, cut it inside, and the pass went outside and falls incomplete.
Bowling Green secondary really does an exceptionally good job. They play multiple coverages. They're very well coached. They have some very good players in the secondary, and they're very fundamentally sound in the techniques they play. I always thought Gary Blackney was an excellent secondary coach before he became a head coach at Ohio State and UCLA and Syracuse, and that's reflected in the way his players are playing in the secondary. I'm sure he has a fine secondary coach as well.
Ty Groot has the win. Long punt this year, 64 yards, but he has the win here, and a pretty stiff one at that, out of the northeast at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, so he should be able to get off a good boot here. High snap, and sure enough, I say it, and it's a shank, but Ty Groot got a bad snap and was under some duress and just got a bad kickoff, but he's a little bit upset right now as he walks off the field, but did a great job just to catch the football.
Yeah, he did. Even though he got a bad punt, it could have been a lot worse if he doesn't catch that ball or get up to get to it. So he did a good job just to gain the extra 20 or 30 yards that he punted to.
There's a timeout on the field right now. 11:53 to go, third quarter. Falcons on top, 21-10. We'll be back to the Glass Bowl after this. Tonight's game is being brought to you by Mid-Am, your local bank serving both Toledo and Bowling Green. If we were you, we'd bank with us. And the Rocket cheerleaders, just part of the festivities taking place, and happy to see that a lot of folks are out here to watch them and watch their Rockets go at it right now. But the Rockets are on the short end of the stick right here, 21-10. Falcons have the football. 11:53 to go here in the third quarter of play. I formation for BG. Deep handoff to Kalen Cates. Bounce it back outside. 45 and midfield.
Kalen Cates is an excellent back. He committed. He pressed the hole. There really wasn't a hole there. The Toledo defense converged on him, lost leverage. He bounced the ball outside and made a nice gain. This is a critical series in the game for Toledo. I mean, the one thing that special teams must do in the game for you at any level is to control the vertical field position. With the bad snap and the poor punt, it changed the field position in the game for Bowling Green in this half.
2 tight ends for BG. One back, it's Kalen Cates. He's got 5 more.
Same play we were talking about earlier in the game, that the outside linebacker has got to close and kick that ball outside. Because if the second blocker on the counter OT or counter tray, as it's called, as you see him coming around here, can turn up the field on the linebacker, you're always going to be soft. And you don't want to let the runner run north and south in any run offense. Make him run east and west and converge on the ball.
Kalen Cates once again had an excellent play. Coming up to make the tackle, Jamie Johnson from his linebacker slot.
That time Kalen wasn't quite patient enough. He got out in front of his blocker a little bit. I think if he'd have waited just a little bit longer there, he'd have had a better opportunity to get up through the hole. And he got up there just a little too quick that time. But that was good defensive play by Toledo. Right there we saw a little shift in momentum as Bowling Green has established a running game here on this drive a little bit. That was a big play defensively for Toledo.
Critical third down here.
Kalen Cates went out. Courtney Davis is in.
This is the formation that Toledo has had trouble covering the tight end. 2 tight and 2 wides in the game.
McElroy goes in motion,
out
pass. He got his man, Ramir Martin, first down. Henry to Martin, that connection clicks there.
Ryan set up nicely, rolled out of the pocket there, and he just run a little square out there on the sideline. Squares his shoulders up nicely, put the ball right on the money. That's just a nice play against that coverage.
And a nice adjustment by Bowling Green. They've had a little pressure on them up the middle. They put 2 tights in it, keep one end to block, which gets the corner for the quarterback. There's no pressure in his face. It's an easy throw and an easy catch.
1st and 10. The ball now resting on the Rocket 36. Handoff inside to Darius Card, the fullback. He's stacked up at the 32, but not before he picks up about 4 yards.
Nice play action fake there by Brian Henry. Fake the flip up to the top of the field and hand it off to the fullback on a quick hitter inside. It was good play action on nice hole inside went for about 4 yards.
The defense that Toledo is playing, which is a stunt 4-3 that originated at Michigan State, is a good defense, but you need to have some very good players inside at the tackle positions for those types of plays because you only have one linebacker in the center of the defense.
High formation for the Falcons. They give it to Michael Parker on the sweep, and now he busts it outside. Good support. Fighting hard, though. Jamie Johnson comes over to make the tackle. Craig Dews had him wrapped up, but let him get away. And it will be close to a Falcon first down.
The thing here that hurts Toledo is you'll see the support man show up in your screen right there, the corner. 36 is actually the second support guy. But if you turn your shoulders to the line of scrimmage, you have to keep your toes pointed to the goal line so when the ball bounces outside, you can move laterally to defend the perimeter. You get the ball running sideways, that's what you want to do, but if you turn your hips to the outside in, you can't pursue when you get the ball bounced out.
And the quarterback in right now, Mark Dunaway, tends to run the option. The short yardage situations for the Falcons.
46 defense.
And here comes Kalen Cates, first down up to the 25. They got the initial crease they needed, and then the Rockets closed quickly.
Seems as though on this drive so far that Bowling Green's offensive line has established what they did in the first quarter of the game. They're establishing movement and momentum, and it's giving creases to the Toledo defense. Right there, you just saw the nice surge, and the person who made the tackle was a person that Bowling Green can't block. So we got to get that guy up there a little bit sooner to make the play behind the line of scrimmage.
Ramir Martin goes out, split right, and Rodney Red to the left. I formation for the Falcons, 1st and 10 on the UT 25-yard line.
The reason that Bowling Green continues to flip-flop the tight end is because Toledo flip-flops their outside backers.
Pass in the flat for Card. He's got it at the 20. Inside the 15.
Brian Henry checked to that play. Toledo was trying to disguise something there, moving people in and out, and hit the fullback there in the flat reel on a nice quick flat pass. And earlier we saw that Ryan had thrown the ball too late in the flat. That time he put the ball on the money right now, and that's a nice play.
Toledo's in man-to-man coverage, and the linebacker has the fullback to the flat from inside out, which is always difficult coverage.
And the ball resting on the right hash mark. 1st and 10. The ball sitting on the 13-yard line. High formation for BG. Penetration from Baskin, but he can't quite wrap him up, and then he gets help. Number 4, Lee Struck.
Lee Struck on the stop.
I'd really like to see Toledo's defense do that just a little bit more. They need to disguise their coverages and run some pressure run type defenses that are going to establish some situations on 2nd down where the down and distance is to their advantage, which they have now at 2nd down and 9.
Card and Cates in the backfield. Trevor Stover's the tight end. Back to pass. On play action goes Ryan Henry. Nearly picked off by Lee Struck.
But there's a nice adjustment. They run that tight end to the flat that Toledo has yet to defend, and that time the free safety picked the first crossing guy, and that was the tight end. He was almost down the sideline for 6 points.
Yeah, I don't really think the quarterback, Ryan Henry, really saw the free safety come down out of the top. Would have been a great opportunity for a big play for Toledo, and certainly would have turned this field position around.
Now, Lee Struck had about 86 yards of acreage ahead of him, and he would have been off to the races. But as it stands, 3rd down and 9.
I'm sure the stadium would have erupted.
Right now, most of these 31,000 are pretty quiet.
Yeah.
It's waiting to see what the Falcons do here offensively. In motion, Ramir Martin. Back to pass goes Ryan Henry. Got some time now. Intended for Martin, and the pass is overthrown. So the Rockets hold. Jamal Belt, Lee Struck on the coverage. And we will see Brian Lever attempt the field goal for the first time tonight.
That's an excellent job by Toledo's defense. They made Bowling Green go the hard way. They did not give up any big plays in this drive. They got them in the red area inside the 20-yard line, made a play on 1st down, got the down and distance in their favor, and got them stopped. Playing efficiently in the red area is a key to winning and keeping the point total down, and this will keep Toledo in the game.
Regardless of what Brian Lever does, he is now 12 for 12 on the season. And as they come back up the field, the Falcons score, but the Rockets keep BG from scoring a touch, and that helps, as Coach Saban said. 24-10. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a minute. Back at the Sold Out Glass Bowl Stadium, and Kevin Mager handling expert analysis tonight, along with the former UT Rocket coach Nick Saban. I'm Lee Conklin, and the score 24-10, BG, and they get set to kick off again after a 29-yard field goal from Brian Lever. Now, on that drive, 13 plays, 59 yards, and 5 minutes of time eaten up by that BG offense.
But still, I mean, those drives we were talking about in the beginning of the game, I mean, they were 2-minute drives that were covering
70, 80 yards.
Right. I mean, if you make the offense execute that way, they have a chance, an opportunity to get a penalty, make a mistake, make a turnover. We got to play here.
Tyrone Brown, 36-yard line. Another good return. Rockets getting good kickoff returns from Tyrone Brown. Unfortunately, when you're returning kicks, that means the other team's scoring.
Now, here's a critical juncture in the game. All right. Toledo has got to answer the bell right now. I mean, Bowling Green went down and scored. Toledo's got to put something together and start putting some points on the board here and answer it. Don't make the defense go back out on the field 3 plays and out like the last series.
Split out to left, Scotty Brunswick, and back to throw goes Ryan Hujek. He's got some time. Now he's flushed out in the middle, and he is grappled at the 34-yard line, number 90 for the Falcons. Dave Brachowski brought him down, grabbed him by the helmet, and then wrestled him to the ground.
Kevin, you're a quarterback here, but I mean, you make this call. Brian looks like he's a little bit indecisive about what he wants to do with the ball. I mean, it's zone coverage by Bowling Green. There should be a check down or some outlet for him to go to.
Right, I think he's waiting just a tad too long. I think he steps up in the pocket there when maybe he's not necessarily needs to. And like you said, he's been a little indecisive.
Shotgun now for the Rockets. And here comes a linebacker from the outside, and down goes Ryan Hujek. Number 59 for BG comes in on the sack. That's Willie Gibson. And Hujek really never had a chance.
No. Willie just beat him right off the bat. Beat him with speed outside and ran the corner on him. I never had a chance right there. You see that? That's an NFL move right there when you lower the shoulder and beat the guy with speed outside. I mean, the offensive tackle has got to cut that pass rush lane off. Now, that's a linebacker rushing. You got to make him convert speed to power on the bigger man, so you got to cut that lane off for him.
Rockets facing an unenviable position right now. 3rd and 19 from their own 27. 4 wideouts in the game. Back to pass, little screen for Washington
Good call
State.
on the screen.
25, 30, 40. And up to the 41-yard line. Didn't pick up the first down, but did get significant yardage on the play. Still have to kick it away.
That could be significant if Toledo's defense can improve and shut Bowling Green down. But even though we didn't get the first down, we picked up 15 big yards here on the screen as Wasion makes a nice move. Good lead block there by Chad Dean, and there was just too many yards for us to have to pick up on 3rd and 20 or whatever it was.
The one thing that I really think is difficult from a defensive standpoint, you saw Chad Dean there who came out and left his feet on the block. He's a big man. The best thing you can do in the open field as a lineman is just keep running. Just keep running. Just keep running. Just keep running right through number 7.
Kick is away from Ty Groot. It's a low one. Ronnie Red will take it at his 24-yard line and scoots up to the 29, and that's where the Falcons will get the football.
Right there, that's if we would have punted from 15 yards back, if the screenplay doesn't go for 12 or so, the Bowling Green's got the ball at the 40, 45-yard line in better field position they are now. And like we've talked about earlier, if we can still stay solid fundamentally, Bowling Green's got to go 70 yards to put points on the board.
37-yard punt from Ty Groot. Come the Falcons again, and the Rockets need a big play right now. Crowd has become rather quiet.
Right.
And momentum.
The momentum and emotion of the game is not in Toledo's favor right now. They need to make a big play to try to get that back.
And we'll see what they can do here with Ryan Henry under center, and back to pass he goes. And I tell you what, Bo Riker was held in the backfield, and Ryan Henry gets it up over the 35, 37-yard line, and 8-yard gain on the play.
You see Bowling Green's play calling has changed a little bit differently from the second quarter. They're throwing the ball on first down using the play action pass. He had solid protection, and we had decent coverage in the secondary. And Ryan just steps up into the pocket, which if he's got a lane, he's got to take it, and he picks up 8 yards.
Again, fundamentally, one of the worst things that can happen to you in pass rush is to get pushed by the quarterback. That's just one less defender you have on the field.
Good position for the Falcons to be in offensively. Can do what they want here. They give it to Kalen Cates. Why not? Bounces it outside 40. Little stutter step and out of bounds. And they have been successful numerous times tonight going inside, and then Cates will take it back outside.
Kalen Cates is a good running back. When he has his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, he can make a nice lateral cut. He's got a little bit of speed and a little jump cut ability, and he's got enough power to break a tackle.
And another first down for BG. Midfield now. That's where the ball sits. 3:30 to go in the third period. High formation for the Falcons. Play action for Ryan Henry. Got plenty of time, and he drills his man, Ronnie Red, at the 40. Inside to the 37 and out of bounds.
Believe it or not, Toledo had over and under coverage on the X receiver there. Number 21, Aristotle Wilson, had him under. The corner had him over. Aristotle's got to face that guy up there. He ends up letting the receiver work away from him.
And I tell you, Ryan Henry had plenty of time. He drilled it in. I think he looked like a baseball pitcher on that throw.
Yeah, he hummed that one in there. He had plenty of time, and anytime quarterback's got time like that, that just adds to confidence, and he put the ball on the money.
Ball sitting on the 36-yard line at UT right now.
46 defense look. Quarterback is checking right here. Knows it's going to be man-to-man. This is what they threw the fullback pick on before.
In motion, Michael Parker. Back to throw. Ryan Henry. And we have a little delay game, I think.
Shot clock ran out on him. Now, see, if you would stem some looks when you're playing a check-with-me team like Bowling Green is right now, they see a look, they check, they're well-coached, they have a good plan. All right, but if you can show them that look, get them to check, stem out of it, I mean, you would get several penalties and a lot of disruption. And if you can get the crowd in the game so they can't hear the checks, then you got an even better chance to mess them up.
Coach, maybe you would like to tell the folks what a check-with-me situation is and explain that.
Okay, after this play, we'll talk about it.
All right, that's fine. Ryan Henry under center right now. On 1st and 15 after the penalty. Had very few of those tonight. Henry going deep. He wants Ronnie Red. And it's picked off nearly by Jamal Bell.
Right there, Ryan was being a little greedy. I think he had the tight end open in the flat again, which was what we've seen all night with nobody within 15 yards on him. He had plenty of time to throw it. I think it was a poor decision by Ryan that time, and he's very fortunate this ball wasn't picked off.
Toledo needs to finish those plays. That's 2 opportunities now their secondary players have had to intercept balls. They need to get their hands on the ball and look the ball in their hands. As you noticed on the monitor on that replay right there, that ball was overthrown and poorly thrown because there was pass rush up the middle. There was somebody in the quarterback's face, and he couldn't step up and throw the ball in the middle of the field.
Amir Martin in motion on 2nd down and 15.
Play crosser.
Play action. Now flushed out. Ryan Henry, a lot of pressure, and he will be ripped down at the 49-yard line.
Toledo's defensive front started to put pressure on Ryan, and it's causing them some problems. They can't get into their routes, and their timing's off a little bit. I think it's starting to frustrate Ryan.
Definite long yardage situation here right now. Bowling Green's answer to this pressure, middle pressure that forced the quarterback out of the pocket to run sideways before, was to leave the tight end and sprint on the corner.
Jason Richards, the big fella who made that play, showed good speed to stay with Henry as Henry broke to the sideline.
All right, 3 wideouts in. All right, Toledo's in a nickel scheme here. You're going to get some kind of vertical pattern in this situation, or a screen, or a draw.
Back to pass on 3rd and 23. Here comes the screen for Courtney Davis. Excellent play by Mark Heron, who comes up from his cornerback position to make the tackle.
What you asked me earlier, Lee, about the check with me, a quarterback, let's just look at this play here. Not a really well-executed screen. When you run a screen, the offensive tackle needs to set deep and cut the defensive end, or it disrupts the timing of the play as well as the course of the back. It's too easily read by the rest of the defense. A check with me is a play that the quarterback has an option to either make the play go opposite of the way that he originally called it in the huddle, or he'll just call a check with me in the huddle. And if a check with me is called, he's going to run one play or the other based on the defensive look. Sometimes the quarterback has the option against a certain look to use a live color or a live number to change the play and use the game plan that they have to run against that look. Because all plays are not good against all defenses, nor are all defenses good against all plays. And the same with coverage. Toledo's got 10 guys up.
What it all comes down to is BG's going to punt the ball. The punt block is on. Belt nearly got to it. And Tommy Boyd will let it bounce. It takes a BG bounce and into the end zone. So a good kick from Mr. Tracy, but not the end result that he wanted. He wanted to pin the Rockets back deeper into UT territory. We're going to take a timeout. 2:36 to go. When we come back, we're going to quiz you on what Coach Saban just taught you a minute ago. That's when we come back in just a minute. Back at Glass Bowl Stadium, the Rockets have the football. They trail 24-10. 2:36 to go, 3rd quarter of play. They go with 4 wideouts and hand the ball off inside to Casey McBeth, and he's got about 4 yards.
Here's a drive that's very crucial here for the Toledo offense. We've got 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Toledo needs 2 scores. Early in the 2nd quarter, when we saw Toledo move the ball, they were a little more secret about their plays. Instead of running the ball on 1st down, they were throwing play-action passes and 5-yard hitches, although Coach can come back and say to me, well, we've just been sacked 2 times, and I don't want to end up in 2nd and long.
No, that's been the key here.
I think to spread them out and run the ball inside and hit them on the draws.
Gary Brunswick there on that reception. 1st down, Toledo. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I thought it was a good idea to put 4 wideouts in there. It spreads the defense out. You have to put somebody out there to cover them. Bowling Green was playing a 2-deep coverage, which is even a more difficult coverage to get run support people down in the box. And we ran the ball inside and made 4 yards. Now we come up and throw the short pass, and they blitzed. We had man-to-man coverage. We got a 1st down.
And the Rockets go with 3 receivers here, just the one back. That's Casey McBeth. Back to throw goes Ryan Hujak. Going for his man on the outside, Scotty Brunswick. Excellent catch. And out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Not a big gain. But nice grab by Brunswick.
I think you would agree with me on this, Kevin, that the timing is just not there on the flat pass. You need to put the ball in the receiver's hand so he has a chance to catch it and run with it.
Right. Plus, that's a dangerous throw to throw the ball late over there in the flat like that. I've seen too many balls that go down the sideline. It shows Ryan's arm strength and his ability to get the ball out there, but he's not getting off his primary receivers quick enough tonight for some reason, whether Bowling Green's confusing him or something, I'm not sure.
Here come the Rockets with that 4-wide situation that Coach was talking about. Hujak is under center, loses the football, and the Falcons have it. Pocket collapsed on him.
Pocket collapsed on him in a hurry, but if he throws the ball on 5 steps on time, I think he's got a man down the middle running down the hash mark, and he's got a chance for a good play. He's just waiting a little too long tonight.
Again, and this has been a situation that is, Ryan has got to learn when people get close to him in the pocket that he cannot wave the ball around in the pocket. I mean, Vinny's lost a few balls doing that. I mean, quarterbacks have a tendency to try to make a play even when people are close to them, and it takes a lot of intestinal fortitude and guts to do that. But also, you run the risk of getting stripped of the ball, which just happened, and it has almost happened a couple other times tonight.
Well, speaking of intestinal fortitude, the defense has to come to the fore again here after playing pretty well here in the second half, giving up only that field goal from Brian Lieber.
And fumble from Cates, and it looks like the Rockets will get it right back.
It's a great job by Toledo, and a big play for the defense. Really a big play.
Picks up the football coming off of reconstructive knee surgery, and things don't look so bleak after all. But now the Rockets have to do something offensively.
Looks here like, that Ryan hands the ball off, and it's always the quarterback's responsibility to put the ball right in the belly, and Ryan, it doesn't look like he did it quite cleanly because the ball's on the side of number 32.
Kalen Cates didn't look like he really made the proper pocket for the quarterback to seed the ball in there, though, for some reason.
Right. It's just fundamentals, poor fundamentals right there, where that's something I'm sure Coach Blackney's went over and practiced thousands of times, and kids just didn't concentrate right. But it's a big momentum swing for Toledo as that turnover that they had gives Bowling Green an opportunity to at least put 3 more points on the board, and to get that turnover right there is a big shot in the arm.
Now the Rockets will go with the I formation here. Brunswick flank to the left. Tommy Boyd is wide out that same side. Rossi's your tight end. Play action. Back to throw goes Hujak. Got some time going for the home run ball to Tommy Boyd, and he can't get it up to it. Just a little bit too far, but he was open, and the pass was there.
Right there, we're seeing a play-action fake on the first down. We somewhat had some success running the ball on first down, like on the last series before we were forced to throw it. Tommy Boyd had his man beat. Ryan just didn't quite have enough air under it to let Tommy run under it. But we're keeping Bowling Green's defense off balance here.
The play-action did freeze the linebackers for the first time this quarter. Ryan had some time to throw.
Yeah, he did.
Well, when you run a play-action pass, you usually get maximum protection with it. So you really have a 7-man protection, so you have a better chance, to get protected. But that was an excellent play-action pass and a very good call. Now he's got to get the ball out now when they go empty.
And it's a quarterback draw.
Good job.
35 up to the 40 and 43-yard line. So
be interesting to see what Bowling Green does here defensively. We're looking at third and 2, 3rd and 3, and we alluded to the fact that Bowling Green was dictating Toledo's offense in the first half with the nickel package. Ryan runs a nice quarterback draw here, and he picks up 7 or 8 yards. But it's going to be interesting to see what Bowling Green does defensively here.
Again, my point is the big man, number 79, just stay up and run over that defensive back. He's going to have to try to get out of your way and then let the runner run off of you. All right, 46 defense. March the A-gap blitz here.
Movement left side. Steve Rossi appeared to move for the Rockets. So if that's the case, UT will be facing a 3rd and 8 instead of that 3rd and 3.
That'll be a big penalty if it's against Toledo, as it, makes it a lot harder on the quarterback. And here's probably going to come Bowling Green's nickel package, and they're probably going to try and put pressure up front on Ryan. And it's hard to convert on 3rd and 8s instead of 3rd and 3s.
We got six defensive backs in for this situation.
All right, Coach Saban, Coach Maker, let's put you guys on the spot here. What do you call in this situation? Quickly.
3rd down and 8. Well, you got to throw a pass down the field enough where you're going to get a first down. from a defensive standpoint. This is a zone man mix down. All right, not a real good time to blitz.
And here comes the pressure. Bujek just tripped up.
There was a screen.
One man to negotiate.
Wasn't that a screen, Kevin?
I'm not quite sure. I know that if he did have the screen set up, he should have at least gotten rid of the football. But with our open set like that, we're trying to isolate Tommy Boyd down here on the bottom of the field. And I'm not sure if Ryan didn't get a clear read, and he's hesitating just a little too long tonight. I don't know whether the pressure and the pressure from Bowling Green's front seven are causing him problems.
That'll do it for the third quarter of play. We have to take a break. Rockets still trail by 2 touchdowns. 15 minutes of football left to go here at the Glass Bowl. We'll be back right after this. The fourth quarter of tonight's game is sponsored in part by Food Town, proud to support UT Rockets and BGSU Falcon Athletics. Food Town, you can count on us. And by Bob Schmidt, also proud to support the University of Toledo and Bowling Green State University Athletics. And back at Glass Bowl Stadium, Lee Conklin, along with former Rocket quarterback Kevin Baker, former Rocket head coach Nick Saban. And the Rockets trail as we enter the fourth quarter of play. Falcons having it their way, at least defensively in that third quarter. They lead 24-10. And Ty Gruden will have to kick it away to Ronnie Red. And it's a high, booming spiral. Sends Red back to his 23. And he is brought down by Jamal Belt, who's done a great job all night on punt coverage for the Rockets.
Toledo special teams has really done a good job tonight. We've had...
Look at your third quarter statistics, and BG still has it their way, but certainly things have begun to even out after their 189-yard total offense effort in the first quarter.
Well, definitely Toledo's defense has stabilized in this game and has played a lot better. I think I own here in the second half, and they haven't been able to establish anything against Bowling Green's defense.
Here come the Falcons. Ryan Henry handing it off to Courtney Davis. Finds a little seam and pops it out over the 30-yard line to the 33.
I think you'll see Bowling Green's offense slow down a little bit here now with the 14-point lead. And 14. We're into the fourth quarter. I think you'll see Ryan Henry slow that clock down and be snapping it with 3 and 2 seconds to go on the clock, and they won't take any unnecessary throws unless something drastic would happen.
And the Rockets, or I should say the Falcons, getting 7-8 yards a pop here on first down, so there's no reason to go to the air. Bring in 2 tight ends. Ronnie Red, the lone wide receiver. Handed off the fullback, Darius Card. And it's close to another BG first down here. Pardon me, Courtney Davis got the football there. Darius Card leading the way, and good surge by that BG offensive line.
Toledo's defense needs to reassert themselves on their front seven and get that push that they had there in the second quarter. I don't know if maybe Toledo's defense is starting to get a little tired. They've been on the field a lot there in the third quarter, especially in the first half. It's one of those times where you need to suck it up, give the offense a chance to get back at it.
With a shot there at Tom Amstutz on the Rocket sideline, trying to get his troops going. Amstutz, a very fiery competitor and trying to fire up his defense right now. He needs a big play.
Well, Toledo's been in this situation several times tonight. Short yardage defense on third down. They need to come up with a big play here.
Sneak from Ryan Henry. And we do have a penalty on the play.
This oftentimes happens here. I think Bowling Green may be in motion, had movement in the interior line.
Call legal procedure, Bowling Green.
And it was all caused because the defense of Toledo stemmed the front. Watch this front move here. All right, and when the front moves, an offensive lineman moves.
Just on movement.
On movement. You always like the linebacker to go move like that, so it sounds like it might be Hutt.
That's a big play, though. You're looking at 3rd and 1,
right.
Possibly an automatic, not an automatic first down, but
now Toledo needs to go put some pressure on these guys right now. All right, play man-to-man on them. Make them make a play. Make them make a play. Don't give them a play by coming off and playing zone, which it looks like we're going to do right here.
They showed blitz, and then Aristotle Wilson dropped back. Pass over the middle. Picked off. Mark Heron on the interception. It bounced off the hands of Darius Card right into the hands of Mark Heron. And then he returned it about another 4 or 5 yards to the 30-yard line. There's that big play we talked about.
That is a big play.
Big play interception. This is the third ball Toledo's defensive secondary's had in its hands this half.
Darius Card should have caught the football, but it just went right through his arms, and Mark Heron was Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, Toledo started to disguise the defense a little bit and played a little cat and mouse on him out there, and he changed the play. He checked to a good one. He was open there, and he made a nice interception on the tip ball drill.
Now you got to get your offense going.
Well, they've got to convert this field position into points. They need 2 scores. A touchdown would be great.
Going for it all right here.
Taking a
Boyd's
shot.
open. And no penalty marker on the play, but Tommy Boyd had 2 steps on his man.
What I liked on that play, though, was Ryan took 3 or 4 steps right on that plant step right there. He threw the ball on time. He underthrew it a little bit because I think Tommy Boyd had him beat. Defender got right in the way. Coach, you could probably analyze that secondary play better than I could, but what I liked better there was Ryan threw the ball on time.
Nearly face guarding Coach Saban until the defender finally turned his head just at the last second.
Right. Well, he just threw his hand up and blocked the ball. I don't think there was anything illegal about the play. I think, we just needed to lay the ball out there so the guy could run under it. Tommy Boyd's got good speed. He's been open a couple times. We haven't been able to convert the plays.
Tyrone Brown opened deep, but we go to Brunswick in the flat, and Scott has 8 yards and out of bounds.
Starting to see a little confidence in Ryan Huzak. He's sitting in the pocket a little bit better. He's still got the feet moving a little bit, but it's a lot better than what we've seen on the first couple drives. He puts the ball on, makes a good throw out here to Scott Brunswick. We're looking at 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 8 and 9.
Got to convert here, though. You don't want to force Brian Clare into a long field goal situation. You need touchdowns here. You need 6 points.
Well, this should before Gary Pinkel runs this play, he should know whether he's going to go for it on 4th down, and that should have something to do with the type of play selection we have on this down.
We saw this earlier with him in the
throw it. Cut back. Got a first down. Inside the 20 to the 17.
I don't know if you saw the guy wide open like I did, Kevin, but we made a first down.
We saw it earlier with Scott coming in motion there. Tommy Boyd was running a flag to the corner, and they bring in Scotty Brunswick to the flat. And it's like that what we talked about during a break about one of those bunches, because they're getting a little bunch in there, and it's hard to defense. And if Brian would throw it on the money right there, I think we'd get a big play. But he made a good play with his athletic ability to make sure at least we got the first down.
Rockets go with 3 wideouts. One back is Wasion Tate. Hand off to Tate. Inside, not a thing there. The PG Falcons stuffed that. Willie Gibson's played a heck of a football game, and he makes the tackle.
Big thing I saw there is when we aligned to the 2 receivers to the bottom, and I'm sure one of our offensive coaches have saw, they left Scott Brunswick uncovered. And in our offense, with somebody uncovered like that, we'll either throw it to him right away for an automatic 4 or 5 yard gain, or run him on a post or a corner to where we got 2-on-1 matched up. We'll see what if we come back to that a little later.
Rockets go back to 2 backs. Now Case McBeth and Tate will split.
You're going to get blitz in the back.
Back to throw goes Huzak. In the end zone, wide open is Boyd. Touchdown Rockets. Man fell down to the secondary. That was George Johnson. He just fell down, and Tommy Boyd was able to stand there by his lonesome and catch the football.
Yeah, Brian there, I think he waited a little too long again that time. He was fortunate that the defensive back did fall down, but he realized that he was so wide open once the guy fell down. He gave Tommy a good chance to catch the football, and Tommy does the rest of it.
What Bowling Green tried to do there on defense, they tried to fake a blitz in the secondary. The secondary was showing blitz, and they bailed out of the blitz at the last minute, whether it was a check or a planned deal to try to draw a check, and the defensive back fell down, and the safety didn't get back over the top to cover him up.
Huzak will put it down. Ryan Clare will kick it and put it up, and no good. Wide to the left, and that hurts.
That could really hurts.
That could be very big, because even now if we go for the 2-point conversion, that's still only a tie, and I'm sure in a game like this you don't want a tie, especially with Toledo tying last weekend. Toledo would be in a major hole as far as the conference race is concerned.
After the touchdown from Tommy Boyd, the pass from Ryan Huzak. We'll be back with a kickoff right after this. hard to believe, between the University of Toledo and Bowling Green State University has been televised, and we are proud to be bringing you the action tonight. Lee Conklin along with Kevin Mager and Nick Saban, and we've got a good ball game going, folks. 12:08 to play, 24-16. Falcons on top.
Well, 2 straight big plays by the Toledo defense. One to probably keep Bowling Green from putting the game out of reach, and now an interception that set up good field position and a touchdown for the Toledo offense.
Ronnie Red will field Springs' kick at the 4, and up the middle he comes. Got a seam and a crevice, and look out. 35. Midfield. And out of bounds, Romaine Davis. Well, that's at least a momentum stopper anyway. After the Rockets score, Brian Clare misses the extra point, and here comes Ronnie Red on the big kickoff return.
Well, field position is so very important in a football game. And a kickoff return that comes up to the plus 50. This is why I get the kickoff team paid. Because I hate to go in a game like this.
In Cleveland, I want to clarify that.
Yeah, in Cleveland.
50-yard return from Ronnie Red.
We talked about earlier about the kicking game being so big, and it seems like it's coming up big right here in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so here come the Falcons. 12 minutes to go. They lead by 8. Ryan Henry will hand it off inside Michael Parker. Good defensive play. Aristotle Wilson will wrap him up. But there's about a 4-yard gain on the play.
I know in the special teams in practice, there's 30 to 40 plays every game. So it's a third of the game itself in specialty teams. And there's so much hard work and emphasis put on specialty teams that a lot of times that makes the outcome of the game. And there's 2 major big plays that we've seen in the last 2 opportunities that have made a major impact on the game.
No question.
Falcons go with 2 wideouts and 2 tight ends. McElroy and Trevor Stover. Courtney Davis is the lone setback. Play action pass for Ryan Henry. Now he's flushed out and throws it out of bounds. So good pressure from the Rockets, or a covered sack, if you will. They said 3 wideouts, and Mr. Henry couldn't find anybody open.
When I used to coach the secondary, they were all covered sacks.
Right there at Toledo, I think that's the first time, Coach, that we've seen the tight end drag there, that Ryan's had to pull it down. We've made some type of adjustment there to covering.
Man-to-man coverage, and Mike linebacker took the tight end across.
Third down, another big one. We keep saying big third down, but with 11 minutes to go in the ball game, every third down is big at this point.
This third down conversion here is extra big, I think, because if they get the first down, it puts them pretty close to being in field goal range.
Rocket fans come to their feet. Back to throw goes Ryan Henry. And he's got a man, Ronnie Red, wide open. 34, 32-yard line and out of bounds.
Right there you can see the difference in the 2 quarterbacks for what we've seen up through 3 quarters. Ryan Henry's got a lot of confidence, and he knows what his read was, and he's right here. We can see on the screen 5 steps. He takes a little shuffle step, and he delivers the ball on time. And it's awful tough on a defensive back and that type of coverage to cover that route when the quarterback throws it on time and throws it outside where no one can catch it but the receiver.
And Bowling Green plays a lot more rolled-up coverage on defense. If you let the wideouts run off the ball, if you don't play them bump and run, or you don't play them rolled-up cover 2, they're going to make plays like that because they're timing throws.
Lee Struck coming on
for the blitz.
There's Trevor Stover wide open. 15 and down to the 11-yard line. Rockets sent Lee Struck, free safety on the blitz, and Stover was wide open.
Well, for some reason, the linebacker lined up on the tight end did not cover the tight end. Oh, he got picked off of him. That's an old NFL trick. The offensive tackle blocks out on the guy covering the tight end, and the tight end comes underneath. When I was with Jerry Glanville and we used to blitz all the time, we used to see this all the time. So you see 77 block out on the cover man? That really should be an illegal play in football. It's not. But, of course, I'm a defensive coach talking.
Irregardless, I tell you, the Falcons are knocking on the door again. Ball resting on the Rocket 11-yard line. Long count now from Ryan Henry. Back to throw he goes. Looking in the end zone. Now he's got some pressure and will be brought down right there.
Again, Toledo blitzed. Good coverage down the field. One-on-one coverage.
Basket and Matt Fernandez make the tackle.
Big set of downs here for the Toledo defense. The worst they want to come out of this situation is just only giving up 3. That puts you down 11. You'll still need 2 scores to win. Toledo will still need 2 scores to win the game. 1 score will tie it, but this is a big series here for the defense here to at least hold them to a field goal.
The Falcons send Red wide left. Ramir Martin's in the slot. I formation. Courtney Davis is the setback with the tailback, and he gets the football. And up the middle he comes, but a good play. On the Rocket linebacking core. They come up and wrap him up.
Close and made a good open field tackle there.
Here's what we're talking about with Coach's check with me system. Ryan come to the line of scrimmage and saw that Toledo was blitzing. He's checked the play to a play that at least has an opportunity to gain some yardage, and it looks like he's checked to a good play. They got 2 or 3 yards out of it.
Jamie Johnson with a good read here and wrapped him up. Made sure he didn't get any more than 2 yards on that play. We'll give him a short 3, and we'll call it 3rd and 7. Ball's inside the 10-yard line.
Another big 3rd down.
Back to throw goes Ryan Henry. Now he's got some pressure. He's flushed out, and he's going to, he avoids that rusher. And touchdown, Trevor Stover. Boy, give that credit to Ryan Henry. He just kept avoiding sack after sack after sack. And Trevor Stover was wide open in the end zone.
Right. They had enough pressure on him. They had an opportunity to get him on the ground. This is one of the most difficult things in the secondary that you ever have to do, is to stay in coverage when the quarterback scrambles. Because the tendency is always to look at the quarterback
and to come up.
And you lose the receivers. And if the quarterback can get the movement that he just got, that's the result.
That just shows Ryan's athletic ability to avoid the rush there and still deliver the ball. A lot of times you see quarterbacks will get confused or get in a hurry, worried about a sack, and he still has enough poise and patience to throw the ball on the money for a touchdown.
Brian Lever adds the extra point, 31-16. That was a big one. We're going to keep it right here. I want to remind everybody that we're coming to you live tonight from the Glass Bowl, the sold-out Glass Bowl, a new attendance record set tonight. All-time UT attendance mark 31,416. We don't have that many left right now, but 9:06 to play. It's not over by any stretch of the imagination. But the Rockets have to score pretty darn quickly at this point.
I would think so. It's amazing to me that the people didn't stay here at this game because this was a good football game, 24-16. It still is a good football game if Toledo can score on this drive. There's 2 very well-coached teams here. I think this is a good opportunity for me to say that Gary Blackney has done an outstanding job at Bowling Green. They just have an outstanding program right now. The success that he's had there in the last 4 years that he's been there has just, been outstanding, and he's done a great job. He has a very well-coached football team. Very well-coached football team. I think they're very fundamentally sound, and I think that's why they're successful.
Derek Shoreeyes will get another crack at kicking this football. He's had quite a few opportunities tonight. The kick is high and deep, and that will send Washawn Tate back to a goal line. He backed up, didn't know where he was for a minute, now takes it outside. He's got a little crease, 20, 30. Out of bounds. What started off to be a rather tenuous run back turned into a 34-yard return.
Right there is an example of what I was talking about earlier. He backed up. He was close to the goal line. He hesitated a little bit. That time was one of the few times it may have benefited him to the hesitate. It set up some blocks for him and allowed him to get outside for a nice return.
And that was a side return, and the ball was actually kicked away from the return. So it was an excellent job by the return team to get the returner to the return.
On that last scoring drive, the 8-yard pass to Trevor Stover. 3 minutes and 2 seconds, 7 plays, and the Falcons on top, 31-16.
Need to throw the ball on time. Bowling Green's in their check blitz.
Hujak can run for a while here, 35-40, and close to a first down. He picked up 9 yards on the scramble, and the key is that he got out of bounds. Right now, time is very crucial for the Rockets, 8:49 to play in the ballgame.
I wonder right now, Coach, if we saw that earlier when Toledo emptied the backfield that they brought the blitz, but there's been other times in the game where we've emptied the backfield and Bowling Green has been set to sit in the zone. I wonder if they've got a certain defense called when then that's the time that they'll automatically blitz when Toledo empties.
Right. We usually call that check black if we want to do that. Just a circumstance that if you do get empty, you're going to come and get them there in 5-man protection. Good run and cut.
Has the first down. Got to get the first down before he can start over again. So Rockets do attain that. And they'll get another 4 cracks at it. But right now, they've got to start thinking about going down the field.
Right here, I think Ryan Huzak needs to make sure he gets the play in a hurry from the sidelines for Toledo to have a chance to win the game, get the guys in and out of the huddle in a hurry. You should be snapping the ball with 15 to 10 seconds on the shot clock, and we got to get the guys in and out of the huddle.
Well, Beth is the lone setback. And Hujak the pass. Flat pass to Casey McBeth, and see you later. Incomplete, never had control. And he had no place to go.
Well, the quarterback there brought the defense to the throw. He looked in the flat for a long time, was indecisive about making a decision to throw the ball to the flat, and the flat defender broke from 10 yards deep and was there before the ball was.
Right. I think
we're not far in this game, Kevin, from going to no huddle.
Right.
I mean, if we were playing in the NFL right now and you needed 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions to get 32 points to win the game, it would be no huddle right now. I mean, because you don't have time to let 25, 30 seconds to run off the clock before every play.
Right.
If you go no huddle here, you'll wear the defense out, you'll wear the rushers out. You have the best opportunity to win the game by going no huddle here.
And the play clock runs down to 3. Back to throw goes Hujak over the left side. He's got his man Tommy Boyd. He's got a first down. The 40-yard line.
Right there, we saw Ryan. He dropped back in the pocket, straight drop back, 5 steps. He made a shuffle step and threw the ball right on the money. Doesn't have what they call happy feet. He's setting, making a good throw.
And you saw his eye control there. He read half the field. He made a decision. He was decisive. He delivered the ball. And the guy's a talented guy. He just needs to be more decisive.
Rockets send trips to the right. Back to throw is Hujak again. Now he's flushed out. And Willie Gibbs has played a heck of a football game. And he came from the blind side. Hujak never saw him, and it was no contest.
Right there, we're seeing. I think what we're seeing a little bit tonight, Coach, is Ryan's inexperience. He's only a sophomore. He's going to learn from these kind of experiences in games like this. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way, but it's the best way to learn them. On that play there, he got caught from behind, and maybe he should have stepped up in the pocket, but that's easy for me to say. I'm up here watching it from up above, and I'm not at ground level.
Brunswick in motion. Back to pass once again. We're going to see this quite a bit. Ryan Hujak going for the home run ball, and Tyrone Brown may have been bumped, looking for a call. Pass falls incomplete. George Johnson on the coverage, and that's who Mr. Brown was looking for a call.
Well, I think that was good pass defense there. You always try to teach the defensive backs to cut off the receivers, and I know people think it's interference, right? But when you cut off the receiver here, like number 2 did, and you're looking for the ball, that should not be pass interference.
He has a right to the ball as well.
Exactly. Now, you can't cut the guy off and impede his progress toward the ball.
I'm sure that Toledo's in 4-down territory here with only 7 minutes and 20 seconds
They
to go.
They should get half of it here.
Right. We don't need to get all of it.
Ryan Hujak scrambling around. 3rd and 15. He's at midfield. Now he'll tuck it in and just go out of bounds. No place to go. And he'll get one more crack at it.
You know, Toledo's receivers on that play didn't do a very good job. I don't know if we can get a shot up here down the field. I don't know if they're tired or what the problem is.
Coming back to the football.
But the quarterback Ryan did a great job of scrambling and trying to make something out of a loose play. And the receiver stopped down the field and did not come back to him.
Well, Ty Groot's going to kick it away here. And Gary Pinkel electing to put the Falcons back deep into their own territory. If Ty can put one in the coffin corner.
I think Coach's game plan here is it may have been a little different if we could have got 8 or 9 yards on that play. Instead of looking at 4th and 15, we would have been looking at 4th and 6 or 4th and 7, somewhere in that effect. But with the way that the play turned out, was still ending up 4th and 14. It didn't turn out very good.
That little pooch kick from Ty Groot takes a Bowling Green bounce and will be down to the 19-yard line. And that's where the Falcons will start. 6:57 to go in the 4th quarter of play. You're watching the University of Toledo and Bowling Green State University here on WTVG, TV 13 in Toledo, Ohio. In case you missed it earlier tonight, we did have an all-time attendance mark set here at Glass Bowl Stadium. 31,416 were here and have watched a very exciting football game through 3.5 quarters. But after an 8-yard pass from Ryan Henry to Trevor Stover, a lot of people headed for the exits. Falcons up 31-16. Now we'll see, indeed, BG take a lot of time off the clock. Or at least attempt to do that. Handoff to Courtney Davis. And as he's done all night long, he and Kalen Cates nothing inside, so they bounce it outside.
They've had success doing that. Toledo's perimeter people have to be a little bit more disciplined in their leverage position on the football. I think that would help them. But these two backs that Bowling Green have, both runners are exceptionally good runners for this league.
Both good size, good speed, and powerful as well. I formation. Two tight ends here. Lone wide receiver is Ramir Martin right now. He's flanked out left side. They hand it off to Courtney Davis, running off tackle, eating up more time. And with 6 minutes to go, 6:12 to go, Falcons just content to run off tackle right now.
I think it's maybe a possibility where Toledo's defense need to take a few more chances here with the time running out on them, and need to gang tackle and try to strip the football to create some type of turnover, because it's pretty obvious Coach Blackney's going to slow the game down and keep the ball on the ground, because Toledo's enemy is the clock, and it's to his advantage. The clock is Gary Blackney's friend right now.
1st and 10 for BG from their own 32. Martin and Red back into the football game, and Ryan Henry wants a timeout right now. Not sure what he sees from that Rocket defense. Just wants to make sure. With 5:46 to play, Bowling Green calls a timeout. And we will as well. So from Glass Bowl Stadium with the score, Bowling Green 31, UT 16. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the Glass Bowl. Lee Conklin along with Kevin Mager and Nick Saban right now. You know, it's been a pleasure to work with two guys who have a good part of Rocket history. Kevin, of course, played for 4 years, played in this game 4 times. And Coach Saban, the last co-championship the Rockets were involved in back in 1990. Right now, Toledo finds themselves climbing uphill. Falcons have the football.
46 defense.
And Michael Parker busts it outside.
Seeing his strength and power and his leg drive and his moves. Toledo started to gamble, like I mentioned too before, and Bowling Green got good seal blocks inside, and with his speed and power that he had right there, he got a good lead block. He's just running through the arm tackles right there, and it's awful tough to defend these two running backs.
Michael Parker's short, stocky, little fire plug, about 5'9", about 220, and he already had one touchdown run this evening on the same play. Run to the left side. Clock continues, will start after the ball is snapped here. They stop the clock to move the chains, and inside handoff to Darius Card. And the object there is to keep the clock moving. Run it inside. Run another 40 seconds off the clock. Coach Saban coming to us from the Cleveland Browns, or he's enjoying life in first place in the AFC Central. So, obviously living on cloud 9 there in Cleveland right now, Coach. Long way to go?
Long way to go. Well, you're only as good as your last play in this business, so you better stay off at cloud 9 until it's over.
Hey, you won a baseball game the other day.
Yeah.
11-8 against the Oilers.
That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm sure we'll need it. One of these times it'll be 40-1 to 40, and the offense will win it for us.
Michael Parker again there. Not quite up to the first down sticks. Falcons continuing to run inside now. And Cates will check back into the game along with Darius Card. Ryan Henry will go out, and here comes another quarterback. Number 19, and that's Mark Dunaway, who usually comes in short yardage situations, and here he is again. The Falcons like to run option here.
This is sometimes a specialty defense that you have to have in your game plan when the other team's trying to take the air out of the ball, that you have to be able to get into the type of defense that's very difficult for them to run against, especially with heavy formations like 2 tight ends and 2 backs, or 3 tight ends, 1 back, and 1 wide out. 1 receiver type formations. I think they have a first down there.
And Dunaway seems to come in every time, at least on those short yardage situations. They run an option of some sort. That time he kept it. And is close to a first down. They will measure. Maybe the viewers out there, Kevin, would like to know what you're up to. I know you had a quick stint with one of the clubs in the CFL. Now you're back home.
Yeah, I graduated in December and working now at an automotive plant. We make fuel and brake bundles for all the automobiles in the United States and the assembly plants. And I'm like Coach, I'm working a lot of hours, but not quite the extent that he's working.
Yeah, and during the break, Coach Saban was telling us, what an easy job it is to be a defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Well, it might be easy some places, but not in Cleveland. But we enjoy it. We have a good bunch of players. They're fun to work with. They have a good attitude, and we enjoy it. And, we're looking forward to hopefully being able to continue successfully.
Craig Donaldson makes the stick on Darius Card. Good defensive play by the Rocket linebacker.
He got some penetration up front that time, which made the runner make an abrupt cut so the linebacker could close on the ball. There's the penetration.
From the UT 43.
It's good defense.
3.5 to play. You take a look at the MAC race. Western Michigan loses again. And didn't foresee that happening. Ball State comes up big against the Broncos this afternoon. So this race right now is certainly in the firm grasp of Bowling Green State University, along with Ball State. Ball State now goes to 3-0 too. So BSU and BGSU look like they have the inside track, battling it out.
This would be an excellent opportunity for Toledo to use a timeout. I know they need 2 scores. I think you would like for your team to know that you're never going to give up in the game. There was over 3 minutes to go when they could have called timeout. Go no huddle, do the best you can, compete to the end. There's no sense carrying them the timeouts in the game.
So as it stands, 2.5 to play. Long count from Ryan Henry. They give it to the tailback.
Now they call timeout.
Jamal Belt made the play, came up from his safety position and cornerback slot and tripped up Courtney Davis. We're going to take a quick timeout with 2:15 to play in the football game. It's BGSU on top of UT, 31-16. We'll be back to the Glass Bowl right after this. Back at the Glass Bowl, many folks have departed. 2:15 to go. It's the Falcons up on top, having it pretty much their way. They're in a funny formation. Andy Tracy will kick it away. Rockets will get it back with around 2 minutes to play.
Toledo has 10 guys up. I'm sure they'll try to block this punt.
Snap is a good one. Tracy gets it away.
Good protection.
Kick. And Tommy Boyd will take it into zone 8. And there's no place to go. Down he goes, and the Rockets will have the football with 2:06 to play.
I think Tommy may have made a bad decision there with us rushing 10 guys. He doesn't have any help. And the rule is, and on your punt, is you stand on the 10 and never back up. Although he was on the 10 and caught it there, I think he might have had a better chance to just let the ball go because he knew he didn't have any help.
Ryan Hujek sends its troops out once again. And got another chance to go 91 yards in 2 minutes. Fortunately, the Rockets need a couple of scores here.
Well, I'm sure we should go. We should go no huddle here with Toledo. Now we're going to get a 3-man rush. All right, so you got maximum coverage.
Hujek tucking it in once again. He's got almost 10 yards, close to a first down. And here's that no huddle that Coach Saban was talking about.
Big thing here in the no huddle with Bowling Green only rushing 3 people is Ryan needs to realize that he's got plenty of time to throw the football and just sit in that pocket just another second longer because somebody's going to break open, especially if Bowling Green's going to stay in a zone. There's going to be seams open down the field, and he just needs to be a little bit more patient.
And here comes that 3-man rush. And as you said, Kevin, he does have time. Rashi's got it.
The 3-5-3 zone that Bowling Green is playing is the same kind of zone that we play in this situation, where you really don't care if they complete the ball, especially short, but it's the best way to keep the ball in bounds, which keeps the clock running. Now, one advantage in college football is it does stop on a first down, which we don't have to deal with that. This is what we were talking about earlier in the game. I would have put Bowling Green in this situation a little bit earlier in the game, try to wear out their rushers, lock them into a coverage, make it a little easier for the quarterback. Needed 2 scores anyway, so why not take a shot at it?
Even with the 3-man rush, Willie Gibson nearly got the sack, and Hujek had to run out of bounds at the line of scrimmage.
Willie Gibson has done a tremendous job of rushing tonight. I mean, we obviously, if we play against this guy again, we need to put 2 on him or chip him with the halfback before he goes out or something. He's an edge rusher. He's a speed rusher. And obviously, the right tackle has had some problems with him. So you need to put somebody outside of him, a tight end on that side or whatever, so he can't rush and give the tackle a little better chance to set.
Shotgun.
Tackle cut him this time.
Over the middle, and that was just a dart into the ground there for Ryan Hujak. Might have got deflected, or his arm might have been hit as he delivered that pass. So this brings up a 3rd and 10.
Plus, you see in this 2-minute drill with only rushing 3 passers, you see them defensive ends and allowing or being able to put pressures. They're just peeling their ears back and coming hard. They really don't have to worry about any run responsibility at all. And you know that's the advantage to this 2-minute defense is they can just peel back and go at it. But as Coach mentioned earlier, you can see that the defensive guys are starting to suck a little wind.
Hujak back to pass once again on 3rd and 10. And now he'll tuck it up and run. And he's got another first down. Pickup of 12 yards. But as Nick said, 10, 12 yards a pop really doesn't bother Bowling Green all that much.
I tell you what, I think this Ryan Hujak is going to be an exceptionally good quarterback. He's showing that he has arm talent. He certainly has good athletic ability. He has quickness. I think once he gets a little more experience and is a little more decisive in his decision-making, he is going to be an outstanding quarterback.
Steve Rossi got a hit laid on him there that he won't soon forget. Number 9, Steve Hartley, was there for at least half that sandwich. Really laid the hit on him.
Yeah, I know that was the hardest part for me when I was still playing for Coach Saban, is I was only a sophomore, and you see a lot of things differently in films that I know when I was a senior I would have recognized or seen, and you got to live with that. But the biggest opportunity you get there is that you learn and you have a chance to become better. And I'm sure Ryan will just go over this film the best he can and try to become a better quarterback.
And Ryan going for the home run ball here. We have trips to the right. And Tony Everhart nearly picked it off for Bowling Green. Pass was intended for Tommy Boyd. Briggs, Brunswick also over on the right side. But Falcons have pretty good coverage.
On the coverage for Bowling Green.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
Lee, I'd like to take an opportunity right now. There's a lot of young men on this roster as I look down through here, starting with Tommy Boyd, Casey Macbeth. Almost every offensive starter. Probably half the defensive starters that were recruited here in the 2 recruiting season that I was the head coach here. One was a short year after coming from Houston. But all the families of these young men, I'm very proud that they're at the University of Toledo and representing the university. I hope that each and every one of them is doing a good job in getting their education, which is what we definitely sold to them, that we would help them get while they're here. We have a lot of compassion for the University of Toledo and the players here. Casey Macbeth is always going to have a little special place in my heart. He was a young man that didn't make his grades, came here as Prop 48, worked his butt off to get eligible and stay eligible. He's turned into a fine young man. Hopefully he'll get an opportunity to play in our league someday. I think he has that kind of ability. Just good. It's a good feeling to see young people doing well at something, and I'm proud of the way Toledo played, even though they didn't win the game tonight.
And Hujak back to throw. Rolls to the right side, and now he decides to run it up, stays in bounds, and is tripped up on the far side. And the Rockets will kick it away here. That'll just about do it. 47 seconds to play, and I'm glad you've got time to get in your spiel there.
Well, it's I oftentimes would like to see people. It was very difficult for us to leave here. Kevin knows. He was in the room when I told the team it was difficult for me. I have a special place in my heart for college football because of the relationship you have with the young men and the opportunity that you have to help develop some of their goals and aspirations in life. It helped them learn how to be successful people through athletics by getting them an education and teaching them how to make goals for themselves and working hard to achieve them. And it's a lot of fun, and I miss it.
Had a good time tonight, I know that. Just too bad the outcome wasn't quite as... Well, it wasn't as close as we would have anticipated it.
I think Gary Pinkel and his staff, shouldn't hang their head after this game. I really don't. I hope that I haven't been too critical on either coach. I kind of look at things through the eyes of a coach, which sometimes comes out a little bit maybe negatively because you're always a perfectionist when you're a coach. I think Bowling Green has a fine football team. I think Toledo's players have a lot to be proud of. They had some opportunities to make plays in the game. It just didn't work out for them. But I think they have a chance to have a good football team.
Final score of the football game as the clock winds down. Gary Blackney and Gary Pinkel will shake hands at midfield, and Gary Blackney will take his troops down I-75, and they will remain in first place in the Mid-American Conference, at least a tie in first place with Ball State. Rockets will take their first loss of the MAC season and try to bounce back next week. We'll take a short timeout and come back. Last Bowl Stadium, the final score, Bowling Green 31, the University of Toledo 16. And back at Glass Bowl Stadium, the final score, you see it on your screen there, 31-16. The Falcons come out on top, and they go to 6-1 on the year, 4-0 in the Mid-American Conference. Their lone loss this year, 20-15 to a pretty good North Carolina State team down in Raleigh at the outset of the season. This is one fine Bowling Green football team.
I think it's an excellent Bowling Green football team. I think they have a good offensive team. They've got a good quarterback. They've got two good runners. Their offensive line does a good job of getting some space for the runners. Their defense plays very well. They're very well coached. They have good special teams. So they really have a good all-around team. They're a very fundamentally sound team. I talked to some coaches at the University of Cincinnati about Bowling Green's team before I came up here, and they said that they really could have very easily beaten North Carolina State, who's a 4-1 or 5-1 team themselves. So it is an excellent football team, and I don't think the Toledo players have anything to hang their head about. I think they got off to a little shaky start, but really played a pretty good football game all the way through.
And Kevin, if Gary Pinkel could tell his team something to keep them going, the game really not as lopsided as the final score would indicate. Halfway through the fourth quarter, it was still a football game at 24-16.
I think that Coach will try to remain as positive as he possibly can, but to lose the Bowling Green game is very demoralizing, and it's very frustrating because it's the big rivalry, and it's hard to accept. But the University of Toledo has a strong history of being a team with a lot of pride and a lot of guts, and I'm sure they'll go back to practice on Monday and reevaluate the film and try to become better football players for next week. I'm sure that they won't allow this loss tonight to affect the rest of their season.
All right, Bowling Green goes to 6-1 once again, 4-0 in the Mid-American Conference. We're going to come back and have a final word in just a minute. Stay with us. And 31-16, the final score. It looks like a tough road to hoe here for Toledo, but they'll bounce back. Bowling Green, on the other hand, things going their way at this point. Ryan Henry had an outstanding night tonight, and a learning experience for Ryan Bujak tonight for the Rockets. So things will get better for UT down the road here.
Yeah, I think the experience that Ryan had to overcome tonight will be a big factor in allowing him to become a better quarterback. And the future looks bright at the quarterback position for the University of Toledo.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have Nick Saban in the booth as we pried him away from the rigors of the NFL schedule.
Well, yeah, I certainly enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with you and seeing Kevin again and working with him. It was a lot of fun.
Kind of like old home week here for a couple of University of Toledo guys. Now, for the rest of our TV13 crew, broadcast services at the University of Toledo as well, thanks very much for joining us. And once again, the final score was BGSU 31, University of Toledo 16. Have a great night, everybody. This telecast was brought to you by Mid-Am, your local bank, serving both Toledo and Bowling Green. If we were you, we'd bank with us. And by Jeep Eagle. Test drive Eagle Vision at your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.